We welcome you from Toronto to San Juan, where the home team is going to be playing here in the second game of the day as they take the field. Puerto Rico, they will be the home team facing Panama here in game 2, as this is the first day of action for games here in San Juan. What a day it has already been. One of the biggest upsets in international baseball that you'll ever have occurred in game 1, as the Netherlands, severe underdogs, came away with a 3-2 win against the Dominican Republic. And remember, this is a double elimination series. So now it's Panama and Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, thinking they were going to get a day off tomorrow. Hang in there. They got to come right back. You lose 2 games and you are out of the World Baseball Classic. Beautiful evening here in San Juan. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. We will see for Panama, managed by Hector Lopez. 2 big names in that lineup. They are the Carlos Lee, who's going to be the DH, and Carlos Ruiz, who is doing the catching. Steve Phillips. If they're going to get runs, those 2 have got to produce.
Well, no question about it. I think the Panamanian team does have some offensive thunder. Now, you talk about Carlos Ruiz. Carlos Ruiz, obviously the big hit last year in the World Series for the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 3. Bases loaded, walk-off infield hit for him. You know, some other threats as well. Julio Zaleta, long-time minor league player, played in Japan, put up some numbers there. Ruben Rivera, 9 years, or parts of 9 years in the major league. So some young kids with some veterans sprinkled in and a chance to score some runs.
And our lineup brought to you by 2K Sports Major League Baseball 2K9. And the lineup will be facing this 32-year-old right-hander.
Well, Javier Vasquez, now of the Atlanta Braves, picked up in an off-season deal from the Chicago White Sox, and a guy who's always been an innings eater in his career, won 10 or more games each of the last 9 years, and a guy that really takes pride in pitching for Puerto Rico and wants to get them off to a very good start in the World Baseball Classic.
Defense cost the Dominican Republic in the first game. 2 of the 3 runs the Netherlands got unearned. Take a look at the defense we will see out there for Puerto Rico in this one.
Well, obviously some athletes, a very good defensive squad all around, and Carlos Beltran in center field, an outstanding defender. Micah Villas at shortstop with Felipe Lopez at second base, and obviously Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate, the veteran catcher. Jose Oquendo, the manager, said he's going to pair up his 3 outstanding catchers, and Ivan Rodriguez gets Javier Vasquez.
And we are about ready to go, as strong winds that were blowing anywhere from a steady 15 miles an hour, gusting up to around 25 to 30 for the day game. They are still blowing here from left to right and will affect balls that are hit up in the air. Beautiful evening, though. The temperatures are going to be in the mid-70s, lower 70s before we're done. And some clouds around, but there's been no precipitation in the day, and it's just a beautiful evening. Jose Oquendo, the skipper for this team from Puerto Rico. They were disappointed last season that they did not move on further and into the finals of the World Baseball Classic, and they want to do something about that here this year. We are ready to go as Vasquez will deliver to Luis Durango, who shows bunt, takes strike, and we are underway. Durango will be making the start in left field in this ball game. He does have good speed. Draws the infield in at the corners a bit. Tries to lay one down. Nope, foul ball. As that one hit him in the batter's box, and a 2-strike count.
Well, Durango, a prospect for the San Diego Padres organization, on the 40-man roster, coming off a very good year between the 2 Class A level teams. Put up some very good numbers, hit over 300 on the season. His manager, Hector Lopez, calls him the Jet because he can fly.
0-2 delivery on the way to him, and that'll be up high for a ball. Won't chase that one. These underdog teams against people like Vasquez must take advantage of all the opportunities that they can get, and laying the ball down with some of the speed they have is one way to do that. 1-2 delivery on the way. Durango choking up a bit. We'll take that one up high. 2-ball, 2-strike count. As in most ballparks around the world, when the home team's playing and the pitch is close, you will hear the crowd.
Got a lot of umpires in the ballpark here tonight.
A lot of umpires. Yeah.
With Vasquez, you get a lot of chances to do that. The all-time strikeout leader for Puerto Rican pitchers.
And Vasquez will miss outside with that. A 3-ball, 2-strike count. Chavez and then Rivera will follow in the lineup as Panama looks to get on the board early in this ball game, and they will get on base early in this game. So Vasquez started out getting ahead of Durango and then loses him. and a leadoff walk, and now a potential stolen base opportunity for Panama at first.
Well, nothing Panama would like more than to get out early, get out in front, just like the Netherlands did with the Dominican Republic. It changed the dynamic of the game earlier today, where it put pressure on the offense for the Dominican. Same thing, Panama wants to get a lead and keep the pressure on.
And now Chavez will stand in. Chavez playing at second base. Hector Lopez told us yesterday for his team, be aggressive, run, get on base for Carlos Lee. And that is taken for a strike on the inside corner.
Well, Chavez right now a farmhand with Boston Red Sox, signed as a minor league free agent, bounced around a little bit with the Dodgers last year, and pretty good offensive player, more of a utility man, but getting the start at second base today.
Decent lead over there at first base for Durango. Not a big lead. Delgado holding. There he is diving back in. Panama in the 2006 World Baseball Classic did not win a game. They had a 2-1 loss against Puerto Rico. Cuba beat them by a score of 8-6, and the Netherlands 10-0 in what was a no-hit game pitched against them. So Panama's got a little retribution. There they go running. Throw is not going to be in time, and a stolen base. Durango gets it off Rodriguez, who had trouble getting that one into the throwing hand out of his glove.
He did. Ivan Rodriguez a little difficulty getting the ball out of his glove on the transfer. His feet were moving just fine. You see him setting up away, a little bit of a slider, and just double clutches. Can't get anything on it. And with Durango's speed, you're not going to get him if you double clutch.
So now an RBI opportunity here in the first inning for Chavez, the second baseman, with nobody out. And believe me, Durango will take off the third base if Puerto Rico does not hold him close. So Aviles, the shortstop, will move in behind him. And a chopper towards second base. Lopez up with it. Got the job done. He intentionally bounced that ball to the right side to get the runner over to third base.
A good piece of hitting right there. He knows, man on second base, nobody out. Advance him to third so that a productive out will allow you to drive in a run. So he thinks about going the other way. That ball actually on the inner half of the plate, but he keeps his hands inside the ball, thinking about going to the right side, advances the runner. Now a runner on third with less than 2 outs.
And here is the center fielder, Ruben Rivera. Rivera gets the RBI chance with one down. Working out of the stretch, Vasquez, and Rivera fouls that one off. Right-handed batter with power. He's played for the Yankees, the Padres, the Cincinnati Reds, Rangers, and the San Francisco Giants over the seasons. Outfield pretty much straight away, and the infield is backed up early in the ball game. Stays off that high fastball. 1-1.
Rivera was an absolute phenom when he first came up to the major leagues, and great hopes and aspirations. He had all the tools. He had arm strength, he could run, he had power, he could do it all, but just could not translate those tools into skills to play the game. Did not make enough contact. Been playing in Mexico the last few years, still putting up some pretty good numbers.
35 years old now. Does not catch up to that 1-1-2. Early in the game, Rivera's got a big at bat. Here's one of those opportunities we were talking about for Panama to get on the board early. Fly ball, ground ball, base hit, anything that'll get him off third and get him to the plate with only one away. 1-2.
Talk about Javier Vasquez as the all-time strikeout leader for Puerto Rican-born pitchers. He needs a strikeout right here. Ruben Rivera is a guy that can be struck out. He tried to climb the ladder a little bit with a fastball there, but look for that curveball. That's his put-away pitch, a strikeout pitch, and a pitch that Rivera has struggled with at times in his career.
Here's the 2-2 delivery to him. Rivera got fooled in the off-speed breaking ball. Great pitch by Vasquez for the K.
Well, you watch Ruben Rivera take batting practice, he can hit it a mile, but you put a little wrinkle in it. You see the rotation on that breaking pitch. Rivera out in front and just couldn't get the timing. A big strikeout right there. Now 2 outs, Carlos Lee, and you can be a little bit careful here. You know, you've got some depth in this, in this lineup, but Carlos Lee is their big threat. You've got first base open. You saw Ivan Rodriguez go to the mound to have a discussion with Vasquez to talk about what they're going to do. Don't make a mistake to Carlos Lee.
Lee with a runner at third and 2 down. He played in the Classic in 06. Did not have a particularly good series. He went 2 for 11. Did not have an RBI. Ended up hitting just 182 in 2006. Good lead at third base. Durango. Vasquez with 2 down. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count on lead.
Well, Durango's creeping down the line, and the rule is you can get as much distance away from the bag as the third baseman is away from the bag. Ramon Vasquez playing deep because of Carlos Lee's ability to drive the ball and hit with power. But that breaking ball, if Vasquez throws it in the dirt, Ivan Rodriguez is going to have to block it. Otherwise, it's a wild pitch and a run scored by Durango.
1-1 delivery to him. Fastball outside. Carlos Lee yesterday was asked whether or not he thinks the pressure's on Panama because they are such an underdog. He kind of smiled and said, pressure? There's no pressure on us. He said the pressure's on Puerto Rico. They're playing at home in front of their home crowd. They want redemption from what they felt was not a particularly good performance in the Classic in '06. He says no pressure on us. There's that off-speed delivery again. He could not time it. 2-2.
Well, that's that outstanding breaking ball that Javier Vasquez has made a living out of in his career. A big strikeout pitch right there. I think he's going to climb the ladder with a fastball right now. I don't think he backs up that curveball again. Lee may time it. He'll try to climb the ladder with a fastball and see if he can't get him to chase it out of the same plane where the curveball started.
2-2 delivery, same pitch. Did he go? No. Stephen DuPont, one of the international umpires at first, helping Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire.
Came back with the curveball, trying to get the strikeout. Ivan Rodriguez, great job. It's exactly how you block a ball in the dirt. You smother it. You put your glove down between the wickets so the ball doesn't sneak through there. Keep it in front of you. You don't have to catch it. Just keep it in front.
Runner at third, 2 down. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Carlos Lee. A lot of room, foul territory. Rodriguez, and reaching out, hauls it in. That's about as far as a catcher will ever run. There's more foul territory here than anywhere else. The Puerto Rican fans ready to cheer their ball club as they come to the plate. Bottom of the first coming up. Puerto Rico coming up in the '06 Classic. They went 3-0 in the first round and then 1-2 in the second round, eliminated by Cuba in a 4-3 loss that took them out of it. They're going again to try and make it to the finals. Their starting lineup brought to you by 2K Sports Major League Baseball 2K9.
A lot of depth with this lineup, and obviously Carlos Beltran, the centerpiece of this offense. Second in the National League in runs scored last year. 7 seasons in which he's had 20 stolen bases and 100 RBIs. So that combination of power and speed, a big part of this Puerto Rican team offense.
And Giovanni Soto is going to be the designated hitter, you'll note, in that lineup. They are so loaded with catchers. They're trying to get everybody in. Bruce Chen, 31-year-old left-hander on the mound. His first pitch will be taken down low. And Puerto Rico will try and get on the board early in this game. Mike Aviles leading it off. And Chen gets the called high strike, 1-1.
Now, Bruce Chen did not pitch in 2008. Had Tommy John surgery after the 2007 season. Recovered all year. Now working his way back. Participated in the winter leagues in Puerto Rico this year.
Aviles pops that one up down the line in right field, not particularly deep. Rodriguez coming in fair territory will put it away. And there's one away. And that defense of Panama must play strong behind their pitching and not make mistakes if they're going to compete against this Puerto Rican team. Here they are defensively.
No question about it. Veteran Ruben Rivera in center field. Speed. Luis Durango, we saw what he can do on the base pass. He's in left. Concepcion Rodriguez, a great arm in right field. And people are raving about the shortstop. Ruben Tejada, New York Mets farmhands, only played 2 seasons. Played at a full season Class A in the Florida State League last year. And really impressed people with his glove.
Ramon Vasquez will stand in. Left-handed hitter. Vasquez will take it down low for a ball. Played with Texas in 105 games, 300 at-bats, and hit .290 last season, an 8-year major league career. Fastball right there by Chen, 1-1.
A valuable utility man. He can play every day for 2 weeks straight, or he can sit out for 2 weeks and come in and play and get the job done.
Took a little off that pitch, got it on the inside corner. 1-ball, 2-strike count.
big breaking ball from Bruce Chen right there, and that's something he's trying to get a feel for coming back from that Tommy John surgery.
That one blooped to third base. Easy play to be made there by Castillo, and there are 2 down. We've already had a game 1 upset, the Netherlands over the Dominican Republic.
Well, Netherlands nubbed them to death in the first inning, and an infield hit followed by an attempted sacrifice bunt. That ball got thrown away. A wild pitch scores a run. And then Hanley Ramirez makes a great effort here, but cannot get a grip on the ball, and he throws it. He throws it away. 2 more runs score. Netherlands 3 runs in the first inning. And then you see late in the game, Willie Taveras trying to steal third base in the 9th. Couldn't get it done. And how about the arms right there from Kenley Henson?
Another ball hit in the air by Carlos Beltran. That'll end up in the seats as a souvenir.
Tell you what, Netherlands made some plays in that game. And in the 9th inning, on second base with 1 out, Willie Taveras thought, let me try to get to third, but you got Hanley Ramirez at the plate, so really a brain cramp on the bases. He gets thrown out at third base with Hanley Ramirez at the plate to try to drive him in.
That one deep in the air to center field. It is way back. Rivera going warning track, and he makes the catch on the run. Some 370 feet away. And Bruce Chen kicks it off with a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 1. Panama, Puerto Rico, no score. I want to remind you there are going to be 3 more World Baseball Classic games on ESPN tomorrow. First at 5:30 a.m. ESPN2, China takes on Korea. And then at 4 on ESPN back here in San Juan, the Dominican Republic, if they lose again, they're going to be gone. They will face the loser of this game. And at 8 Eastern on ESPN from Toronto, the USA takes on the winner of the Italy-Venezuela game that's going to be played tonight. Pitch is taken by Julio Zuleta, leading it off here. That is going to miss inside for a ball. Real surprise, China making a statement, beating, playing Japan very tough in the first game, losing 4-0, and then, beating Chinese Taipei. That's a real statement. Zuleta with a big cut. The series in Tokyo started on Thursday, so Chinese Taipei has already been eliminated. Japan, the defending champion, is guaranteed to move on to the second round. They will be going to San Diego. And 1 more team is going to be eliminated in Tokyo. That ball hit in the air to right field. That'll stay in for Rios. And Zuleta is retired. There's a familiar face down on the field with our own Pedro Gomez. Pedro.
Guys, I'm going to have to wait just 1 minute. He's on his way. Sorry, he's running late. He's coaching now.
Yeah, it was a familiar face once standing with Pedro, and then the face disappeared. The face is going to return, however. But you're not going to believe who it is, so they need to stick around and wait till you see who we got. There we go. Until we see.
All right. Mariano, you're looking like a coach out there. Is this something that you're going to see yourself doing in the future?
I don't know about that. I prefer not to talk about that.
Maybe you could take over Yankee pitching coach duties.
Imagine that. No. I mean, I'm glad that I'm here.
How is your shoulder? We know that you're going to be limited this spring because of off-season shoulder injuries and from last season. How is it?
Well, the shoulder's good. I mean, matter of fact, I've been throwing a few bullpens already, and it feels real good. So, I mean, hopefully continues doing that, and I'll be in the field soon.
Would you have liked to have played in this Classic?
I would love to play, yes, I definitely, but I couldn't, so I mean, the more I see in the games, the more I wanted to be active, but I had to be careful and hopefully do what I have to do.
Your team, the Yankees, have made a lot of noise, a lot of news during the winter. You guys signed CC Sabathia, you signed Mark Teixeira, you signed AJ Burnett. Obviously, Alex Rodriguez's problems all surfaced. What is it like over there?
Well, we have a bunch of great guys there. We have a lot of great energy. In having CC and having AJ, those 2 guys bring a lot to the starting rotation.
How much can we expect from the Yankees this season?
We have to expect a lot of things, especially in the starting rotation. If the starters do their job, we're gonna be a great team to compete.
All right, Mariano Rivera, who trails only Trevor Hoffman on the all-time saves list, and that by the looks of it, he's probably going to get quite a few more this year. Mariano, thank you. Back to you guys.
You're welcome.
Pedro, thank you very much, and they really appreciated the fact that he was willing to come along and in effect be a cheerleader. Yeah, he'll coach a little bit, but he just wanted to be here to benefit in any way that he could this team that he so desperately wanted to play for in this World Baseball Classic. You saw the base hit. Castillo on at first base. A strike taken by Carlos Ruiz. There's one away. 0-1 count on it.
Mariano Rivera being here validates the World Baseball Classic and the importance of it to each of these countries. And I think that you know, as part of the United States, I don't think the fans feel it nearly as much because of Major League Baseball. But here in Puerto Rico and Panama and the Netherlands, they're here, they're rooting for their guys, and they want to see their stars wearing the country name on the front of the uniform.
And they answered the call. Ruiz did that in particular. He got a call from the president of Panama, who called and said, how come you're not on the roster? Martran Torrijos gave him a call, and he said he doesn't have a good answer, and then said, I'm playing, and fouled it back.
That's a little peer pressure right there.
That's a little peer pressure. Ruiz is really funny. Said you get a call from the president of your home country out of the blue, and first he didn't believe that's who it was, and then when he realized it was the real deal, he was like, maybe I better change my mind here. Well,
you know, Carlos Ruiz is a great story of perseverance. 8 years in the minor leagues before getting to the major leagues, and then catching part of a World Series championship team and going through the parade and everything that comes with it, coming up with a big hit, hitting about 380 in the World Series, driving in runs, scoring runs.
His comment was, when he was talking to the president of his country, after he was asked, why aren't you in the Classic? He said, well, this year is very important for me as a player and earning my spot on a world champion. And the president responded, I understand, but we don't have any catchers. We need you.
you know, how about that? The president acting as the general manager a little bit, too. I like that.
And here is Ruiz. 1 ball, 2 strike count. A big cut into the screen. It'll stay at 1-2.
Ruiz, pretty good breaking ball hitter. He took a good hack at a hanging curveball a little bit earlier than, going after the high fastball right there. One of the things that the Netherlands had an advantage of early on, they had a lot of breaking ball pitchers, breaking ball changeup pitchers. Major league hitters get their timing to get ready for the season off of the fastball, so they can start to get their timing on the fastball. Then they make adjustments to breaking pitches. If they're not quite there yet, breaking balls can be effective.
Not a big lead for Castillo over at first base. Vasquez having to work hard here in the first 2 innings of this ball game. He threw 20 pitches in the first inning of the game, and he's up to 32 already, and we are only in the 2nd inning. Javier Vasquez keeping an eye at first base on Castillo. Ruiz takes that one in the air to left field. He just missed. Got a little bit under that and out in front of it. Bocachilla will make the catch. Runner back to first base, 2 down.
Ruiz is a good breaking ball hitter. You saw him take a very, very good swing on that breaking pitch. You can beat him at times to get him to chase the high fastball, but you take something off of it, his timing gets pretty good.
Fans have such a great time at these games, and it looks like very close to a full house here tonight. Big crowd on hand. A beautiful evening for baseball. No score in the 2nd inning, and here's Concepcion Rodriguez. He is playing in right field in this ball game, and will take the fastball up high. Rodriguez in the Atlanta Braves organization.
I got a chance to talk to Luis Ortiz, one of the coaches for the Panama team, and he's the Gulf Coast League coach for the Atlanta Braves, and he was very proud of having found this young man and thinks he's the next Ruben Rivera. All the tools to play the game.
22 years old, takes that one in the air in foul territory. Delgado coming over, and room enough to make the play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning here in San Juan, Panama, Puerto Rico. No score. It'll be Delgado, Rios, and Rodriguez due up as we go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning scoreless game. And a little snapshot of Puerto Rico. 3.9 million. Largest city right here, San Juan. Founded in 1521. It is the oldest city in any U.S. territory. Notable landmark, El Yunque, which is the rainforest in the middle part of this island. Puerto Rico has 5, count them, 5 Miss Universe winners, the 2nd most to the USA's 7. Steve gave us that little bit of information, which we didn't have prior to the game.
Well, you know, you do all the reading, you come up with all the little tidbits.
Carlos Delgado as the flashbulbs go off. Delgado working at first base, obviously a hero here in Puerto Rico. Left-hander Bruce Chen had a 9-pitch first inning. Gets that in for a strike.
Well, you know, Bruce Chen, we talked about coming back from the Tommy John surgery, and he knows he doesn't have the fastball that he once did. He's got to rebuild that. So he said, I'm going to come out and throw strikes, and I can't put people on base and get in hitters' counts.
He is one of the number of players in this World Baseball Classic, the pitcher, Bruce Chen, hoping his performance will justify somebody taking a look at him and getting a contract. In the air to deep right field. Puerto Rico, get up. Goodbye, home run.
Seasons of 30 or more home runs, and Carlos Delgado has that kind of raw power, making the hometown fans very happy. They want it to go away. He leaves it out over the plate. Delgado knew it as soon as he made contact that that thing was long gone.
And they are on the board as the home team will take the 1-0 lead as Bruce Chen surrenders the long ball. Alex Rios will take that one for a strike. 0-1 delivery by Chen. Breaking ball will miss down low. 1-1.
Looked like Chen was trying to take something off the pitch. Now left-handers tend not to throw left-handed hitters changeups, because if you're going to get out in front and open up, the only pitch you can hit is that changeup that drops down and in.
Good fist pitch right there. This is back. He's got it. He's retired. Delgado played in the first World Classic. He did not have a home run. In fact, he only one hit and one at bat as he was kept by injury. So he comes back here with a big one.
Right here, kind of like a strange side. He has just joined the organization, so didn't want to push it very far, and they missed his bat. Certainly, he's a major force in the middle of the lineup.
Speaking of players who are looking for a contract, here's another, and probably a Hall of Famer, but he's not ready to be done yet. Pudge Rodriguez lines that one into the gap, left center field. Rivera over to get it. Played by Durango instead. So Rodriguez is on, one pitch and a base hit.
You're right, Gary. He wants to play some more, yet he does not have an offer from anybody yet. Hard to believe. I mean, clearly a future Hall of Famer, getting a fastball up in the zone and just driving it into left center field for a base hit. He's done that many times in his career. And, you know, I talked to him a little bit and said, you know, some people think that maybe you don't want to accept the role on the team, but that they have. And he's like, well, role? He said, I don't have a job, so any role is better than the one I have right now. And he said, what about money? He said, I made my money. I want to play.
He's ready. That is a strike taken on the outside corner by Soto. Strength of this team from Puerto Rico behind the plate, forcing the likes of a Giovanni Soto, a catcher, to have to be the designated hitter. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's going to start catching in most places in this world. Swung out and missed, and an 0-2 count from Chen.
Well, for whatever reason, the island of Puerto Rico has developed so many great catchers. You've got the Molina brothers, you know, sprinkled throughout the major leagues. Yadier certainly on this team. Giovanni Soto, Rookie of the Year last year for the Chicago Cubs. Pudge Rodriguez going into the Hall of Fame. And you know, we really have kind of the generations of catchers here, with where Pudge, you know, at the end of his career on the way out, Yadier Molina heading into the prime of his career, and Giovanni Soto DHing here, you know, just getting his career started. So some great catchers for Team Puerto Rico.
And Soto will take that one away for a ball. The National League Rookie of the Year in his first full major league season, Soto with the Cubs. He was strikingly successful for a ball club that will hope to take it a little deeper in the postseason this year in Chicago. Last speed pitch, foul back by Soto. Count stays at 1-2.
You know, one of the tough things for Jose Oquendo is playing time. You know, you want to give Pudge Rodriguez an opportunity to get a major league job, so you want to play him. But the other guys need to get at bats too. So see Ivan Rodriguez playing tonight. You're going to have Yadier Molina catching Ian Snell in their second game. And then Soto is going to catch Jonathan Sanchez in the third game of the first round.
Throw over to first base. Pudge Rodriguez not likely to be taking off unless it is a hit and run situation. 1 ball, 2 strike count and 1 down. There's a lot of holding the bag over there, and Chen not his best move.
When you think about the Molina family with 3 catchers, 3 of the parents' kids catching in the major leagues, and it tells you how special mom and dad had to be. And it must be. I mean, the leadership skills, the smarts, thinking on your feet.
Another one popped up into this wide foul territory area, but even that one's going to be out of play. That really is phenomenal. I mean, it's one of the toughest positions to train somebody to play, and to have 3 people doing it in the same family.
It's absolutely amazing, and the toughness that you have to get back behind the plate. You know, Dad's name's Benji, Mom's Gladys, and obviously tip our hat to them, because they've developed 3 high-character, high-quality guys that are as tough as can be and play the game the right way.
Still celebrating a home run over there, Carlos Delgado. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Runner goes. Whoa, they got him on a good throw. It wasn't. They were not sure who was going to be covering second base, as Chavez, the second baseman, started in, then backed off, and Tejada could not get to the bag in time, and Rodriguez gets a stolen base.
19-year-old shortstop, and I think caught being a spectator a little bit. This is the shortstop play. I mean, unless you're playing way over for a pull hitter, you've got to get yourself in position to be able to do it. The second baseman comes in case it's a rundown, but the shortstop goes to cover the bag. Tejada, the youngster, 19 years old, just gets there a little bit late. An opportunity for Puerto Rico.
Runner in scoring position with 1 away. Soto, the 1-2 delivery to him. Yes, missed with it. Pudge Rodriguez told us yesterday when he was asked about playing here in this World Baseball Classic, his words were, "This is big for me." So he's going to try and do everything he can, including running. Major League Baseball scouts that he is ready and able to play the game. 2-2 delivery. Soto takes it outside, 3-2.
I had an honest conversation with Ivan Rodriguez, and I said to him, here's the question. People don't know that you want to accept their role. They think you want more money than they have to offer. And there's a knock against you that you don't call a good game with the pitching staff. He said, I don't understand that. I've taken pitching staffs to the playoffs many times. He said, I've won World Series. And he said, here's the thing. If I get a chance with somebody, I will prove to them that I can handle a pitching staff. I mean, to me, he's answering all the questions in a way that if you want him, he's there to get them.
3-2 delivery, foul back again. It'll stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. We've already seen, even though we're in just the first day of the World Baseball Classic here, players looking for a job who haven't hurt their cause, certainly. We had a pitcher, Sidney Ponson, for the Netherlands, who pitched a pretty good 4+ innings in the ball game he was in. Pedro Martinez certainly was outstanding in the second game he's pitched in, an exhibition game, and this one he had 3 solid innings. 3-2 delivery on the way, up high, and Chen surrenders the walk. 2 on and 1 down.
I agree. Pedro Martinez, I saw him at the end of the year last year, and I thought the end of a great career. But this offseason he's recovered. I think he talked a little bit about the death of his father and the emotional and mental toll that took on him last year, recovering from the health issues last year as well. He looked fresh. His arm looked quick. He commanded his pitches. He had some snap on his fastball and some bite on his breaking ball and a feel for the changeup. He looked very good. He looked very capable of getting major league hitters out.
Puerto Rico with a 1-0 lead on the home run by Delgado. After the 9-pitch at bat by Soto, Boca Chica might be looking for a pitch to hit right off the bat here against Bruce Chen. 2 on. And a breaking ball that's going to miss down low, ball 1.
You can see Bruce Chen does not have a lot of confidence in his fastball. Boca Chica, the 8th hitter in this lineup, plays for the Seibu Lions in Japan, so plays in the Japanese Professional League, but playing for his country right now, as a lot of Japanese players are playing for their country. But Chen, going with off-speed pitches to get hitters started off because he doesn't have that confidence to throw the fastball over the plate.
And they'll try and get Chen settled in here. Hector Lopez is the manager. He does not want to have to go to his bullpen early. These starters for most of these teams are the desire by the skippers is that they go 5 innings if they can, and maybe 6 if the pitch count is down. There is Hector Lopez.
Allowed 70 pitches in the round 1 participation for starters. A little bit more than what they had back in 2006 in the World Baseball Classic. Expanded the pitches some to give a little more flexibility.
Boca Chica with a 1-0 count. Runners off first and second base. That'll even it up at 1-1. Boca Chica making the start in left field. Really the only question mark Jose Oquendo told us before the game in his lineup was whether or not Boca Chica or Bernie Williams would be in the lineup for this game 1. Bernie Williams, another one of those players who's looking to find some work. That's a high strike called at the letters, 1 and 2. Obviously Jose Oquendo decided for this one at least it's Boca Chica.
Well, with Bruce Chen, a left-hander on the mound, he felt more comfortable with the right-handed hitting Boca Chica. Now Bernie's a switch hitter but has not gotten a lot of work in from the right side of the plate. He played a little bit of winter ball, but there weren't any or many left-handers in the Puerto Rican Winter League.
Fooled him. I mean really fooled him on that one and gets the strikeout. That'll be the first for Bruce Chen.
Well, you talk about hitters and their timing in spring training and this early in the season, more locked in on the fastball than the breaking ball, and Bruce Chen rolls that big breaker in there and gets the strikeout.
Now Felipe Lopez will try and get a base hit and at least 1 RBI. Second baseman, Arizona Diamondbacks. Played for Washington last year, hit .234 with 325 at bats. And does a lot of work on the sideburns.
Now listen, that's a lot of work. That's a good effort right there, huh?
Very careful shaving. 2 down, 2 on, 1-0 lead. Puerto Rico on the home run leading off the inning by Carlos Delgado.
That's good peripheral vision right there to be able to get that edge just the way he does right there. That's pretty impressive.
You may have to go to the barber shop for that.
Yeah, I don't think you
do. Straight razor job, you know?
You can't do that one yourself.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, I have enough time just trying to cut my face up in a regular shave. Strike on the inside corner to him, 0-1.
It was interesting talking to Jose Oquendo. He said that Felipe Lopez, of all the players on his team, seemed the most motivated to be able to play in the World Baseball Classic. To be able to show what he can do and play with his fellow countrymen.
Chen gets another one in there and goes ahead on the count here, 0-2. Bruce Chen a chance to get out of what could be still a serious inning offensively for Puerto Rico if he can get Lopez, the number 9 hitter, out of there and not turn this order over. It'll make a very big difference in this ball game. Rodriguez off second base. Soto, 2 catchers on the base pass at the same time for Puerto Rico, with Soto of course as the DH. Fastball up high to him, 1-2.
Talked to Bruce Chen. He said he's pitching winter ball here coming back from the surgery. He said after every start he got what's called a contracture, where your arm stays bent, and he couldn't straighten his arm out. And after every start, the trainer would work it out, get it extended again. He'd pitch, and he'd have a contracture again where it was bent. So he took 5 weeks off after winter ball, recovered, got healthy, and he said he feels so good right now.
Long look back at second base, and got him. No question about it. And again, he fooled him. So Lopez is called out on strikes. A run on a couple of hits, 2 left. The run coming on Carlos Delgado's blast, leading off the inning. And Puerto Rico goes up after 2, 1-0. Let's take a look here at this Panamanian team homeland. A population in Panama of 3.2 million people. Their largest city is Panama City, and the landmark, of course, the Panama Canal that opened for traffic in 1914. A tremendous jungle type area with over 1,000 species of birds live in Panama. That's more than in the U.S. and Canada combined. And the Panamanian Railway is the oldest continually running railroad in the world. It opened up in 1855.
How many species of birds were there?
1,000 plus.
Wow.
Audubon is very happy about that.
That's a lot of birds.
Their baseball federation formed in 1950. Manny Sanguillen, one of the big names that came out of Panama to play Major League Baseball. And they continue to produce some fine baseball players, not in the numbers that we get from some of the other Caribbean countries, but certainly some quality. Ruben Tejada. He'll take that one down the line, and that'll be a foul ball.
Well, Ruben Tejada, very highly thought of prospect in the Mets organization. Only 2 years in his professional career, they had him at a high-level Class A league, which is high. He struggled offensively. He was a little bit beyond his skis there to be able to perform, so he may end up going back there this year, but they love the way he can play defense, and they think the bat's going to come. And he looks like a baby, doesn't he?
He was only 17 years old when he came to play for the Mets in the United States, so understandably a long way to go for him. Tony Bernazard, watching player development for the Mets, was happy he was going to play in the Classic. Bernazard said he needs to play, needs development. Punches that one to short, one hop. Boy, is he fast. He got him, but just barely. Aviles' throw just in time to get Tejada.
That's a heck of a play by Aviles, ranging far to his left and being able to turn his body, make a strong throw to get the speedy Tejada down the line. So outstanding play by Mike Aviles.
Number 9 hitter retired, back to the top of the order. Luis Durango walked his first time up. This will be the 40th pitch coming up from Vasquez, who threw 20 in the first inning alone, but got out of it after surrendering a leadoff walk with the Panamanian team leaving a base runner on at third base. Durango steps up and butcher boys that one to the middle. There'll be no play. You don't see that anymore. A running start.
I'll tell you what, I really like that. I mean, this young guy so far has shown us that he can work the count, take a walk. We've seen him steal a base. He knows what he should be and what he shouldn't be. He's not trying to hit the ball in the air. You see him get the running start, getting on top of the ball, getting a good pitch to be able to do that with, and just slapping at it on the run right there. And, you know, almost hit the same spot where Tejada hit his, but you got a left-handed hitter who's a little bit faster and gets down the line. Boy, he is some kind of good-looking kid.
Now let's see if he stays aggressive on the base pass with Chavez coming to the plate. One down and one on. Strike taken on the outside corner. Each team now with 2 hits in the ball game.
You know, Felipe Alou, talking to him yesterday about a Dominican team, he said he was going to tell his players to make every pitch a big pitch and every swing a big swing. The problem was the Netherlands played that way in the first game, and right now Panama's playing that way right now as well.
Javier Vasquez, a long look, had him leaning and has him diving back as Durango, for real or not, leaned towards second base.
Whenever I'd go in and watch young minor league players, we had our young prospects on the team, I'd always go up to one of them and say, look, go out there and be the best player on the field today. Do things, make things happen. Don't be passive. If you're going to make mistakes, so what if you get picked off? Try to make things happen and challenge the defense.
Runner not going to the hole. That's going to be a base hit for Chavez. Runner will stop at second. Bocachilla will get it back in. And with only one away, Panama threatening here in the third.
Well, Angel Chavez, good piece of hitting right there. We saw him advance the runner earlier, and he takes the breaking ball away, able to still reach out, pull it through the hole. Stays on that breaking pitch well. Good piece of hitting.
So another chance for Panama to get on the board with their third hit there. Speed on the base pass with only one away, and they've got the middle of the order. Number 3 hitter Ruben Rivera, strikeout victim, first time up, standing in.
Now, Ruben Rivera, talking about batting practice, he can hit it a mile. He was hitting him over the left field grandstand yesterday in batting practice, but he does have a long swing, so he's vulnerable to the good fastball and he's vulnerable to the breaking pitch away.
Rivera, line drive. Is it caught? Yes. And there's the double play. Lopez diving, comes up with it. Durango was on his way to third base, so he was an easy out at second, and Vasquez a little defensive help behind him. 1-0 Puerto Rico. The World Baseball Classic continues tonight at 8 o'clock. MLB Network will have Italy taking on Venezuela. Then tomorrow, 5:30, On ESPN2, China takes on Korea, an elimination game. That ball popped up in the air towards second base. And Aviles is retired. Top of the order, Aviles, as Chavez hauled that one in. Again at 5:30 tomorrow, ESPN2, China, Korea. That's an elimination game. And 2 o'clock tomorrow on the MLB Network, South Africa will take on Cuba. So those are the games upcoming. The last of the 4 pool cities to get underway is in Mexico City, with Cuba, South Africa, and Australia against Mexico. The 2 games that will be played there in Mexico City tomorrow. Japan, of course, has started early on Thursday, so they're actually coming to the end there. Bunted to third base by Vasquez. Running throw, and got him! And a nice play at first base by Zuleta to help his third baseman Castillo as he came off the bag in a hurry.
I'll tell you, this is an unbelievable play by Javier Castillo, because he's off the line having to move toward the third base dugout. His momentum's carrying him away from first base to turn and get that much on the throw, and that accurate. That is an unbelievable play for the Chicago White Sox prospect.
Nice play with Zuleta coming off to help Castillo. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Bruce Chen. Carlos Beltran flying out to center field his first time up. Left-hander Chen soft tosses that one on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, smart by Bruce Chen, knowing that 2 pitches, 2 outs. Carlos Beltran going to take a pitch there and try to at least give Javier Vasquez a blow in the Puerto Rico dugout.
Breaking ball. That is going to miss. Bruce Chen pitched for this ball club in '06 in the original World Baseball Classic. He had a 1-1 record. That one is going to miss outside. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Back in 2006, Bruce Chen, remember the Orioles starting rotation, and that was the year where Leo Mazzoni joined the Orioles as their pitching coach, and his entire pitching staff went off to join the World Baseball Classic. So here he comes in wanting to impact. Oh, I want to teach all these guys all the things that made me a great pitching coach in Atlanta, and none of them are there. They're all gone. They're all pitching for their countries. You know, Daniel Cabrera for the Dominican, Bruce Chen for Panama. I mean, they were spread around the world in the World Baseball Classic.
Now Bruce Chen trying to find some work with another major league team. 2-1 delivery on the way to Beltran. Swung on, fouled off at the plate. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Chen's throwing strikes. And he's coming at the hitters, and he knew, as Steve said earlier, that he had to be aggressive in this game. But Chen is not going to overpower anybody. Sometimes he'll try and be too fine and get himself in trouble. 12 balls, 29 strikes so far thrown. Make that 13 out of the strike zone with a good ratio, and the count goes to 3-2.
A good pitch right there. I mean, he went hard in. Now look for him to go breaking ball or change up away to set up that pitch inside, was to set up this pitch right here.
Beltran will take it away. So he is on with 2 down. That is the second walk surrendered by Chen in the ball game, and will give Delgado another chance.
Carlos Beltran, one of the things he does so well is steal bases. 88% success rate on stolen bases in his career. Now Chen did pick off Ivan Rodriguez earlier, so he does have a fairly decent move over there. And Beltran may actually give his Met teammate Carlos Delgado a chance to take a swing and make it a 3-run lead.
Delgado put one out into right field for the home run his first time up. The only run on the board in the ball game. Chen backs him up a little bit. 2 down here, runner on at first base. 2 different kinds of offenses, as Puerto Rico will try and do a little more mashing. Panama's got to do more manufacturing. Shift is on against Delgado, and he fouls that one back. 1-1.
Go back to the second inning, and Carlos Delgado got a pitch out over the plate from Bruce Chen. You saw his eyes get real big right there, because he saw it coming in and said, I'm hitting that one way out of here in front of the hometown crowd. And tell you, the way they slap 5 after a home run like that, you can tell that this is important to him and to his teammates.
1-1 delivery on the way, and he wanted another one.
Wow.
There is no question the Netherlands team, you would have thought it was game 7 when they beat the Dominican Republic. They came charging out on the field, jumping up and down, swarming over one another. The Canadian team coming back against the U.S. in the 9th inning earlier in Toronto today. Their players were all up cheering on the front step of the dugout. That's how much it means, this World Classic, to these players. Off-speed breaking ball is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Some will poo-poo it a little bit prior to getting to the location for the games. Once it starts, it gets real serious in a hurry.
There's no question about it. Even though the Dominican team lost today, the way they were out of the dugout after Tejada's home run, the way Damaso Marte got out of an inning, was trying to pump up his teammates to score runs.
In the air to center field, an out of ball. Rivera can't catch it. Has to play it on a hop. Runner's going to go to third. Here's the throw. And out of there as he went by the bag. Third base umpire Luis Ramirez got caught up in the slide by Beltran, who might have been safe had he been able to hang on to the bag. Rivera makes the throw to get him, and it remains Puerto Rico leading Panama 1. And we welcome you back to San Juan. Puerto Rico has the 1-0 lead over Panama. And the earlier upset here, the Netherlands with their very big win over the Dominican Republic. This is a double elimination tournament. And that's the game you're seeing right now, Panama and Puerto Rico. Dominican Republic loses one more and they're going to be out. Yikes. That ball in the air to right field. Carlos Lee, a line drive. 1 pitch and 1 out. Rios there to haul it in, 4th inning.
Well, that's exactly how you want to face Carlos Lee. Nobody on base, leading off an inning and get him to swing at the first pitch.
The double elimination makes the first game that you play at any of the 4 sites in the World Baseball Classic so important, because if you lose that first one, then every game's a must-win after that.
Well, plus in our bracket here in our pool, the winners get a day off on Sunday and they come back to play Monday so they can rest their pitching staff.
Second pitch is popped up. Zuleta, second base. Lopez. 2 pitches and 2 outs. Javier Vasquez, who had to throw a few in the first 3 innings, has thrown only 2 here.
Well, that's the same way that Bruce Chen started off his last half of the inning, where first 2 pitches he got 2 outs, and then Carlos Beltran worked a walk out of it. We'll see what kind of approach we get from Javier Castillo, who jumped on the first pitch for a base hit back in the 2nd inning.
2 down. Castillo with a single, stranded in the 2nd after he got that hit. He will take that one for a strike. Puerto Rico with a run on 3 hits, no errors. Panama no runs, 3 hits and no errors. Game 2 of the day here in beautiful San Juan. And a breaking ball that will miss down low. Along with Steve Phillips upstairs here, Pedro Gomez getting us the chatter from downstairs in the interviews. I'm Gary Thorne. The World Baseball Classic now well underway. The U.S. won their game today against Canada by 1 run. That is a strike called. He thought that might have been a little high, but Castillo's not going to get the benefit. 1 and 2.
A big win for the USA, and got a little dicey in the 9th inning, but J.J. Putz holds on, get the save.
Castillo with a big cut, and Vasquez has his best inning. That is his 2nd strikeout. So he's gone through 4, protecting the 1-0 lead that Puerto Rico has over Panama. Back here in San Juan, one of the magic numbers in all of baseball is number 21. We are playing in the Roberto Clemente complex, Hiram B. Thorne Stadium. As part of that, and the name Roberto Clemente, obviously much beloved. This great baseball player who did not get a chance to finish his career because of his work trying to bring humanitarian aid. An air flight that went down in which he passed away, and Roberto Clemente, remembered all around baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirate, great player. That is a strike. Alex Rios leading it off here. Rios popped out his first time up. Chopper to third base. A pretty easy play right there for Castillo to get the out. Delgado wanted to recognize Roberto Clemente, so asked permission to wear the number 21 and got it.
And I tell you what, Carlos Delgado, one of the more charitable guys, particularly down here in Puerto Rico, and I think the Clemente family recognizing how much he's willing to give to his hometown. And you know, Carlos Delgado's raised a lot of money, given a lot of his own money to different charities here in Puerto Rico, and you know, similar in a lot of ways to Roberto Clemente in that way. So I think a real tribute to him and to the Clemente family for his wearing number 21. Out in the outfield wall here, you see number 21 as one of the retired numbers here in Puerto Rico, and making it even more special for Delgado to wear that number.
Great honor for him, and a worthy player to have it on. And he has delivered in this ball game in front of this home crowd with a home run leading off the second inning, and that's the only run on the board, that 1-0 lead. Bruce Chen, a couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. Rodriguez a single and a stolen base, and Pudge will take the breaking ball for a strike.
You know, Ivan Rodriguez ended up playing winter ball this year, playing for Eduardo Perez, the bench coach and hitting coach for the Puerto Rican team. Eduardo managed in Ponce this year, won the championship, came in, won the championship. And in fact, Javier Vasquez and Ivan Rodriguez both were his battery in the playoffs down here. That they both ended up playing winter ball to get ready for the season. And that's the one advantage that I think a lot of the teams, the Caribbean teams, have, is a lot of their players did play in the winter leagues to be able to get themselves ready, so it's not necessarily spring training for them.
Powering fly ball way back left field. Pudge Rodriguez, goodbye, home run.
Gotta love that. I mean, not only for the reception he gets here at home in front of the fans here in Puerto Rico. I've never seen Pudge Rodriguez more motivated. He hit a fastball up for a single earlier. This time drives it out of the ballpark. And he truly wants to play this year. And I know all of the knocks against him about handling a pitching staff and that. He is more motivated than I've seen him in a long, long time.
He's going to play. He said he's 100% physically, and he certainly looks at the way he's playing right now.
Well, if I want to play matchmaker, I would say Houston Astros, let me introduce you to Pudge Rodriguez. You need a catcher. Humberto Quintero did a nice job for his good catch and throw guy, but you need to add some offense. You have J.R. Tolles as a backup who struggled last year. You see the curtain call for Pudge Rodriguez. The fans calling him out of the dugout. And Pudge Rodriguez be a perfect fit. He's not going to cost a lot of money to play. He wants to play.
Great attitude. Once got a point to prove. You love having ball players who are good with points to prove. And he's got a big smile going over there. And a 2-0 lead. Hit number 4 in the ball game for Puerto Rico. And the two big blows, Delgado and Rodriguez, the home runs. 1-2 delivery by Chen. Got him on the outside corner for the strike. Soto is retired. 2 down here in the 4th inning.
And if Pudge does get a job, I only charge a 5% commission.
Knew you were going to do that.
I mean, only 5%. I mean, that's not
half.
You know what? I'll give up my commission. Baseball still needs Pudge Rodriguez, Pedro Martinez, and those guys. They're not done. They're not done with the game yet, so the game should be done with them.
I don't think it will be. Bruce Chen has done a more than credible job through the first 3 2/3 innings of this ball game. Just that long ball that has gotten him in trouble, and for Panama, difficulty scoring runs was expected to be and is going to be a problem for the ball club, and those home runs have given Puerto Rico the 2-0 lead. 2 down, bases empty. Aaron Boca Chica. Breaking ball will miss outside. He was a strikeout victim, one of 3 Ks in the game for Chen so far. But for Rodriguez, nice ball game so far as he has picked up the single, a stolen base, and a home run, and working behind the plate. Bruce Chen, the 3-1 pitch, and he walked it. That'll be the 3rd walk surrendered. 2 down here in the 4th inning, and now he's got to face the number 9 hitter Felipe Lopez.
Now Bruce Chen running out of gas a little bit here. You can see laboring a little bit more, but you know, if he can get through this inning and get out of it with only giving up those 2 solo home runs, it will be a fabulous effort from him. You know, coming back from Tommy John surgery, facing highly motivated pitchers in an environment where, you know, you've got the hometown fans cheering against you. He's done a pretty good job.
64 pitches thrown so far by Bruce Chen, who will be allowed to throw 70. He's got 2 down. Lopez, the strikeout victim, his first time up. Chen said yesterday, this game is like the World Series for me, not only as an individual but also for the ball club. He said, I wish I'd had a couple more games to get a little better rhythm going, but he said my arm feels strong. Runner goes, popped up, first base, and Zoletta's got that one. Lopez retired, but not before Puerto Rico adds another to their 2-0 lead as Pat Rodriguez drilled a no-doubter. He completed 4. Puerto Rico with a couple of home runs, and that's the difference in the ball game right now. Score 2-0. And we remind you, you can keep up with the 2009 World Baseball Classic. Get the latest news, live stats, find tickets, buy official gear, and watch it all in one place. WorldBaseballClassic.com. Don't miss a moment. We go to the 5th inning, and a strike on the outside corner. Javier Vasquez, the 32-year-old right-hander, as the innings have gone on, he's gotten better. Pitches per inning, 20, 15, 8, and then 6. Talk about getting into your rhythm. Vasquez has done that. Carlos Ruiz leading it off in the 5th for Panama. Flied out to left field his first time up. One will be down the line and foul. 1-2.
Now you see Ruiz right there having a tough time getting around on the fastball up in the zone, a little bit off the plate. You see catcher to catcher. Ruiz asked Ivan Rodriguez, where was that pitch? And Pudge told him it was a little bit off the plate. A little bit of help there, and we'll see if they go to the breaking ball now. 1-2 count, and the curveball is a put away pitch, but Ruiz took a pretty good hack at it last time up, drove the ball to deep left field.
The second question he had for Rodriguez was, what are you going to call for next?
Yeah, you know, catchers, there's a certain you know, fraternity there.
He didn't get an answer, though. That's just misses down low. 2-ball, 2-strike count for Vasquez.
He told him fastball, and he came back with a curveball right there.
Exactly.
So much for asking the opposing catcher for help.
It's the worst thing you can do to ask, because then you're really messed up. You don't know if he lied to you, told you the truth. You're hurting. Here's the 2-2 delivery. And he'll foul it off, keep the at-bat alive. Vasquez finishing up his work here in the 5th inning.
Saw Nelson Figueroa from the Mets organization warming up in the bullpen.
Pitch count increased for the 09 World Baseball Classic from what it was in 06. 70 pitches round 1, 85 pitches round 2, 100 pitches in the semifinals and finals. 2-2 delivery on the way, a line shot to the gap. That's going to be a base hit. Beltran over to get it. So Ruiz is on with a single. That is the 4th hit for Panama, and a leadoff base hit here in the 5th inning.
Boy, Ruiz had some pretty good at bats and handling breaking pitches and taking the ball back up the middle right there. It's quality work so far. You know, he's a little motivated this year, not only for what they did last season, but they picked up Ronnie Paulino, the Phillies did in the trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So playing time, you know, maybe challenged a little bit more this year for him. So he's going to have to produce more with the bat.
Concepcion Rodriguez takes a slider away, and a 1-0 count. As was true in the first game, when the Netherlands got up early and beat the Dominican Republic 3-2, Puerto Rico's not been able to put this Panamanian team away. They're in the ball game. They're only down 2-0. It is the 5th inning. They've got plenty of time. And if you're a team like Puerto Rico, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to let a team that is a serious underdog to you be able to stay in the game deep. because then anything goes.
But you're right. I think in the Panama dugout they say, hey, keep it close, keep it close. We'll run into one. You know, one mistake pitch, one ball up in the zone gets driven out of the ballpark, it becomes a different game. And that's why they're not bunting right here. You know, Concepcion Rodriguez, a big, strong kid that if he runs into a mistake could hit one out of the ballpark.
Breaking ball. He thought about going around on it, did not. Ball blocked by Rodriguez to take the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And Vasquez beginning to look as though there's a little laboring going on out there. The tank may be getting closer to empty.
Well, he's at the point to push the limits a little bit, and that's what you do during spring training typically. Each time out you get a little bit more to get that arm in shape, and he's at those pitch count numbers right now.
2-1 delivery on the way, foul back as he came in with a fastball. He was going to throw a strike no matter what. 2-2. Number 60 in the pitch department will be coming up for Vasquez against the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Concepcion Rodriguez. All the flags part of the color at all of the locations with 4 teams from 4 different nations in each one. Great pitch right there. Wow. 1 down. Rodriguez, strikeout victim number 3.
It's one of the ones you say, young man, this is what a curveball looks like in the major leagues. I know an A-ball what you see every once in a while, but you know when we need to get a strikeout up here, that's what we throw.
And looks like Vasquez is going to come out of there. Jose Oquendo, the skipper for Puerto Rico, is making his way out to the mound and applauds the performance by Vasquez, and he'll get a nice hand as he leaves, the starter for Puerto Rico in front of the home crowd. Back here in San Juan, time now for our pitching summary, brought to you by the video game MLB 09, the show.
Take a look at Bruce Chen. Obviously quality outing from him today, only giving up the 2 solo home runs, and Javier Vasquez doing everything he wanted to do today. 60 pitches, getting to the number where he wanted to, only giving up 4 hits and staying out of trouble for the most part. So 2 quality efforts. I don't think either manager could ask for more from their starting pitchers, and now it's going to be up to the bullpens and the offense to see what they can do.
And that will bring on Nelson Figueroa to do the pitching out of the New York Mets organization, where last year he appeared in 16 games, went 3-3 with a 4.57 ERA. Runner on at first base, 1 down. Tejada, and will take it for a strike. Ruben Tejada batting 9th, grounded out, only time up.
Now Figueroa, 30th round draft pick in 1995 out of Brandeis University in the Mets organization. He bounced around a little bit and has come back home.
That one up the middle should be 2. There's 1 and there's 2. Avila's got that one right on the money, and that will take care of that. No runs on 1 hit with nobody left on. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning from San Juan. The home team up 2-0. So updated here on what's going to be coming up. 3 more World Baseball Classic games on ESPN tomorrow. First, 5:30 a.m. That's a.m. on ESPN2. China takes on Korea. That is an elimination game. 4:30 on ESPN. We'll be back here in San Juan. The Dominican Republic could be eliminated if they lose that ball game tomorrow. They will take on the loser of this game. And 8 o'clock Eastern, ESPN from Toronto. USA winning today over Canada takes on the winner of the Italy-Venezuela game being played in Toronto later tonight. Mike Aviles leads it off, and the left-hander Navarro comes out of the bullpen. Bruce Chen's day is done. Elise Navarro out of the Pirates organization gets that one in there for a strike.
They pitch in the Dominican Summer League, which is the lowest of the minor leagues, and 108 strikeouts in 76 innings.
Hit hard, but an atom ball bobble, but well, no buts, and a collision at first base, and they're both down as Tejada's throw went over Zuleta's head at first base. Aviles then collided with Zuleta. Aviles saying he is all right. Zuleta wants a little more time.
A ball well hit, but it eats up Tejada a little bit, and then he panics as he starts to pick it up. He had more time than that. And you see the high throw gets away. Zuleta gets turned around, and nothing that Aviles can do as he gets clocked. I mean, the elbow from Zuleta comes down and gets him across the face. And, well, all friendly here, good sportsmanship. And Now let's see if Aviles steals a base.
Error charged on Tejada. First error we've had in the ball game. Those are the kind of plays where managers and GMs have to get themselves up off the floor if their players are involved in it.
Yeah.
Vasquez takes a strike. Looking for the bunt. Vasquez is lined out, grounded out. Left-hander Navarro. Keep an eye on that runner and make the throw over. And that one's going to get away. And that big foul territory. Aviles will make a turn and head to third. Why not? A two-base error on the throw by Navarro.
A good heads-up base running by Aviles right there. He knows the stadium. He knows the foul territory. Having played winter ball down here before, the ball got away. Zaletta looked like he got handcuffed a little bit as the throw's coming over. It's like he lost sight of it. I mean, that's a very catchable throw. It's an error. It's got to be an error on the first baseman. And he hustles over to try to get it, but Aviles very heads up, recognizes I've got a chance to get third base. He goes to second, makes the big turn, realizes he can make it, coasts into third.
Boy, Zaletta really wasn't looking for that. He had his glove turned the wrong way, trying to catch that ball over the top of it. Now the infield is drawn in with nobody out. And the pitch is in there for a strike to Vasquez.
Well, probably not going to do it an 0-2 count, but remember, Jose Oquendo, a coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony La Russa loves the squeeze bunt. Not a great count on the 0-2, but certainly something that could come into play at some point in the tournament.
Fastball just missed the outside corner. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. They do charge that error on Zaletta, and appropriately so. You could almost see Zaletta let up. He thought the time had gone by when the throw would be made. He was ready to get off the bag. 1-2 delivery, fastball inside from Navarro. 2-2.
You know, when you have young players, they have the tools to play the game. They can throw the ball hard. We saw Tejada with the great arm strength, but it's the consistency to make plays, and sometimes they just struggle to execute.
The decision now has already been made at third base by Aviles, by his manager, really, Jose Oquendo. If a ball is hit on the ground with the infield drawn in, do you go? Or will he stay and wait to see if the ball goes through? 3-2 count. Won't have to worry about it. Center field, he'll tag. Rivera's got it. Rivera's throw coming to the plate will not be in time. Sacrifice fly for Vasquez and an RBI and a 3-0 lead for Puerto Rico.
A good piece of hitting right there. Got a ball up in the zone, something you can drive. Situational hitting, always critical. Obviously for a guy like Ramon Vasquez, who's bounced around and always fighting for playing time at the major league level. He got a ball up in the zone, knew what he needed to do, executes, gets it deep enough. Tough play for Rivera to move to his left and turn himself all the way back around and get enough on the throw to get the speedy Aviles at the plate.
And 3-0. That'll clear the bases. Only one away. Carlos Beltran has drawn a walk and he is flied out. Foul ball. Two things creating that run. One, speed. Aviles. Two, the size of the foul territory in this ballpark. We have talked about it today in both games because it has made a difference. It's one of the largest foul territory areas that you'll see at any ballpark in this day and age. It allowed that ball to go all the way to the stands and a runner to go from first to third. Ground ball to short again. Tejada's up with this one and makes the play and gets the out. And we'll check in with Pedro Gomez. Pedro.
And I've got Javier Vasquez, who put in 4 1/3 innings, only gave up 4 hits. Javi, what does this do for you guys?
Man, it's just exciting to be in this kind of tournament, playing for your country, and you know, for me, it's an honor, and the second time that I've played this year in the tournament.
After watching the Dominican Republic lose earlier today to the Netherlands, a team that obviously they were favored to beat, how much pressure did you guys feel to come out early today?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's pressure to come out early. We know that if we want to make it to the second round, I mean, we got to win almost every game. You know how it is. So, I mean, but every team here, like you said, it was a big upset in the Netherlands against Dominican, and you know, any team can win. That's baseball.
When Jose Oquendo said that you were going to be starting Game 1, what was your reaction?
I mean, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to play here. It's an honor to play for my country in front of the fans, and you know, for me it was just you know, an unbelievable feeling to be here.
All right, looks like that's the end of the inning. Javier, thank you very much. Guys.
Navarro comes on. He'll give up an unearned run in the inning. It's now 3. Pedro Gomez and Steve Phillips. I'm Gary Thorne. San Juan is the site. Opening day for pool play here in the World Baseball Classic in Puerto Rico, with the Netherlands coming away with an amazing 3-2 upset win over the Dominican Republic in Game 1. Puerto Rico, another heavily favored team, leading 3-0 here against a tough Panama team, battling and with time as we go to the 6th inning. Durango, the leadoff batter, has walked and singled. Vasquez moved in at third base. He tried to shove that one right down the third baseman's throat. 1-2.
Watching Durango, I asked one of the coaches, Luis Ortiz for Panama, who Durango reminded him of. He said he thought about it for a while. He said, you know, he's with the Atlanta Braves, the coach, and he said, Willie Harris. He reminds me of Willie Harris, former White Sox Brave, now with the Washington Nationals, and I could see that a little bit. Kind of a pesky offensive player.
That'll be taken inside. He reminds me of Otis Nixon at the plate. Slash hitter. You move in on him and he'll try and drive it right through you. You back up on him and he'll loop the ball or bunt. And he's on with a walk, so the speedster is on. Figueroa surrenders the free pass. Keeping you updated on the brackets here in San Juan, one of the 4 locales for the beginning of this whole 9 World Baseball Classic.
But we can't overstate how significant an upset we saw earlier today. I mean, the Netherlands defeating the Dominican Republic, just a major upset in international baseball, and obviously a big boost for Netherlands and probably for the growth of baseball there in the islands of Curacao and Aruba, and obviously back in Holland as well. I think for the Dominican, maybe a little, you know, one of those slaps in the face that wake you up a little bit and get you going, because they certainly don't want eliminated the first team out here. They're going to end up playing the loser of this game tomorrow.
And one of the teams that plays in that game tomorrow will be out. You lose 2 games and that's it. Strike taken on the outside corner. Angel Chavez has singled and grounded out, clearly making Figueroa work a little bit here. Chavez will join his new organization, the Red Sox, after playing AAA ball last year for the Dodgers in Las Vegas, where he hit .292 and he had a lot of at bats, over 460 at bats. He'll foul that one back.
Chavez, one of those big, strong, more offensive player than defensive player, and so he's, you know, plays himself into the role of a utility infielder. He's played some second, short, third, first base, a little bit of outfield, just about anywhere but catcher.
This is going to be the second consecutive and third time tonight that Panama's gotten a leadoff man on base. That generally means you got a pretty good chance to score. But they've not been able to do that tonight against Javier Vasquez, who gave up no runs, 4 hits over 4 1/3. He walked 1 and struck out 3, and now Figueroa on in relief, trying to keep that string going. Durango at first base with that speed, drawing the attention of Figueroa.
Durango's been that guy. He's gotten on base all 3 times to lead off an inning. So a threat on the bases, doing his job, trying to walk off the field where people remember who he is.
1-2 count, runner not going. Got him to chase one upstairs. Chavez retired, 1 down in the 6th.
You talk about young players wanting to be remembered. We saw Sharon Martiz throw a no-hitter last time around in the World Baseball Classic. He's now with the Washington Nationals, vying for a spot in the major leagues. Well, Francisco Liriano in the 2006 World Baseball Classic, this young guy kind of bursting on the scene. Everybody said, wow, look at this guy's stuff. And now, what do we think about Francisco Liriano? He's the ace of the Minnesota Twins staff right now. So, you know, maybe it's Luis Durango is the name that comes out of this year's World Baseball Classic, at least this pool, that people start to recognize the name and realize he becomes a regular at the major league level.
So far, so good in that regard for Durango. Ruben Rivera get into a double play on a line drive his last time up, and he is struck out. He'll take the fastball up high from Figueroa and gets ahead on the count 2-0, and Pudge Rodriguez will head out to have a word with his battery mate.
Well, this is where Nelson Figueroa can get in a little bit of trouble. Ruben Rivera can hit the fastball if it's the right velocity. At 93 and above, he can struggle a little bit with a high fastball. Figueroa doesn't throw that hard. So I suspect that we're going to see a breaking ball even on a 2-0 count right here and not play with fire, because if he makes a mistake, Rivera could take him deep.
Outfield playing him very deep. Jose Oquendo, the skipper of Puerto Rico, anxiously eyeing his starter, his reliever rather. That pitch is taken outside for a ball, and the count now goes to 3-0. He gets on, and Panama's got a chance. Cleanup batter Carlos Lee come up with the representing the potential tying run in the game. Taking all the way, strike on the outside corner to Rivera, 3-1.
See Jose Oquendo, and obviously he's been learning on one of the better managers in the game, and Tony La Russa. Very smart player in his day, Oquendo. Infielder, came up with the Mets organization.
Check swing, and he is on, and that's exactly what's happened. 2 on, 1 out. Lee coming up. Dun 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 dun.
We talked about earlier how you want to face Carlos Lee, leading off an inning, nobody on base, and swinging at a first pitch. Now you're digging yourself a little bit of a hole right here and forcing to have to throw the ball over the plate.
Three 3-0 lead, Puerto Rico. We are in the 6th inning in Panama. A chance to get on the scoreboard. They have stranded just 3, and they've had only 1 left in scoring position, and that was in the 1st inning. Carlos Lee. Those high strikes are being called consistently by Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, and so the hitters know that. Lee has popped out and flied out. Durango and Rivera get their leads. Ground ball, knocked down, goes to first base to get the out. Runners will move up 2 away. There is a very big out right there.
Huge. Not a real good at bat by Lee. Took a pitch that he could drive and then kind of breaks down on a swing and hits it back to Figueroa on the mound. And, you know, for such an RBI machine that he is, you see the ball coming back to Figueroa. Knocks it down, doesn't panic, takes his time, been around for a while, gone through that before. I would have thought Carlos Lee would have been a little more patient, try to get something up to drive.
So Julio Solano with 2 in scoring position. He is 0 for 2. Has popped out, flied out. Panama is still looking for their first hit with runners in scoring position. 0 for 5 tonight. Speaking of Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, he asked if we would send out our greetings to his sister, Isi, who is in a hospital in Gainesville. Laz thinking about you and wanted to say hi. So Isi, we send our best wishes from your brother and from all of us. Hit in the air to left field. That ball off the fists is not going to quite make the warning track. Hauled in by Boca Chica. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. 5.5 completed here in San Juan. Puerto Rico leads at 3-0. San Juan, one of the 4 host cities for the first round of the World Baseball Classic. Toronto, the other, where the U.S. team is playing. And the United States beating Canada today by a score of 6-5. They're going to play the loser of the ball game to be played between Italy and Venezuela. That's going to be coming up later. It is a double elimination, so you lose 2 and you're out of there. U.S. off to a good start with their victory, but a very tough ball game right down to the final out.
Well, you have to think Venezuela, the other favorite team to come out of that bracket, but the Canadian team, they lack pitching depth, but they've got a pretty productive offensive club. They can score some runs and challenge USA Today in that way.
Alex Rios 0 for 2. Vicia Navarro, the left-hander, on the mound for Panama. Ground ball to short, hit hard. Tejada up, gets him. Rios is retired, and there's one away. Take a look at our Coors Light cold hard facts as Pudge Rodriguez will be played for Puerto Rico.
Now, it's been an outstanding career. You look at the career batting average numbers right there. 14-time All-Star, 13 Gold Gloves, and he is highly motivated right now. He's hungry to get a job back in the major leagues. He knows time's running out. He's hoping somebody will give him a shot, really hoping to use this as a showcase to sign a contract.
And he told us yesterday there have been inquiries by, as he put it, several teams who have an interest in Pudge Rodriguez. He hasn't been in a particular hurry, but right now you'd want to get it done. Down the line, he's got another base hit, a fair ball. He'll go on to second base. Durango over to get it in the corner. Now Rodriguez can't do much more in his own cause. He's had a single, a double, a home run, a stolen base, and an RBI in 3 at-bats in this game.
Well, we saw him hit a couple of fastballs up in the zone. He hits a hanging breaking ball right here. Keeps that ball fair down the line. And now putting himself in scoring position. And, you know, I mean, that's exactly it. He's doing everything he possibly can to be able to get himself back on track and get a job somewhere and get back to playing in the major leagues.
That is going to be hit number 5 for Puerto Rico. Victor Lopez taking a look at the lineup card as he's got Navarro, the left-hander, out there, and now Giovanni Soto, the DH, who has walked and struck out, will stand in with only 1 away. Put a little shift on Soto, moving the second baseman over near the bag, holding the runner. Pitch is taken inside for a ball. 3 runs on 5 hits for Puerto Rico. No runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for Panama. Jose Kendo, their skippers. He was the skipper for this ball club back in the Classic in 06.
What a big part of the Chicago Cubs, Giovanni Soto. What an offensive year he had last year. A lot of power production. More of a pull hitter, good breaking ball hitter as well, but handled the pitching staff extremely well for the Chicago Cubs and Lou Piniella.
We apologize for the audio hits we're taking a little bit. We'll get that corrected for you. Down the third base side and foul.
Well, there was a game last year against the Washington Nationals on a Saturday afternoon where Soto struck out 5 times in the game. Carlos Zambrano's pitching. Lou Piniella said, "I've never been prouder," because despite the fact he was miserable at the plate, Zambrano didn't call him off on a single pitch. He had 7 shutout innings from him, and that's what you want out of your catcher. Focus on catching first.
Pickoff attempt at second base will not be in time. Pudge Rodriguez back. One of the things you cannot do in this game if you're going to be successful is take the bat with you into the field. And as Steve says, no position is that truer than the one behind the plate because of your multiple duties. 3-1 delivery on the way. That time, and the count goes to 3-2. Now we probably would get an argument from Ted Williams were he around able to defend himself for taking phantom swings in left field at Fenway.
Well, Paul O'Neill was always famous for that with the Yankees. You know, I mean, I understand make your money with your offense, but defense helps win games.
And a 3-ball 2-strike count on the foul ball.
I think the one thing that Pudge Rodriguez has done is he's probably ensured himself some DH at bats. Their catchers are going to be catching. Now we're going to be catching Ian Snell, their second game of this tournament here in Pool D.
3-2. Rodriguez off second base, 1 away. Fair ball down the line. Pudge Rodriguez will come around to score easily. Soto's on his way to second base. That's like one catcher saying to the other, "Oh, you can do that? Well, watch this."
That's passing the torch. You see the acknowledgement from Pudge Rodriguez to his protege, Giovanni Soto. Good pitch. Soto, he got a fastball up in the zone, and you watch how he kind of elevates himself to be able to get on it and top that ball, gets the top hand through, drives it again, keeping it fair. A lot of hitters particularly, will yank that ball foul. You've got to keep your hands inside the ball to keep it in play. Does a nice job and hits so hard he's just not able to get a glove on it.
And a 4-0 lead for Puerto Rico. And that will do it for Navarro, the left-hander coming out of there. He leaves with a couple of doubles back-to-back in this 6th inning, and Puerto Rico up 4-0. Puerto Rico bringing their bats to the fore here in the 6th inning with back-to-back doubles putting a run in.
Oh, good piece of hitting by Pudge Rodriguez, getting a breaking ball out over the plate, able to drive it down the line, keeping it just fair. And then Giovanni Soto taking a high fastball, elevating himself to be able to get on top of it, driving it down the line, and you see the passing of the torch, the veteran Pudge to the youngster Giovanni Soto.
And you hear the standing ovation for Bernie Williams and the Bernie chant as he comes on to pinch hit. Full house on hand here in Puerto Rico, and Bernie Williams, timeout being asked for at third base. Whoa! And a swinging strike. Castillo was walking to the mound asking for a timeout, and none of the umpires gave it to him. He was way in, and Bernie Williams took a swing at it and missed. 0-1 count, one down. On at second base is Soto. And Williams will take a slider inside. Bernie, yet another player, maybe less so than the likes of Pudge Rodriguez, but still someone who's looking maybe at going back into Major League Baseball after a couple of years out.
Yeah, I sure got the sense that, you know, in the past he only wanted to play for the Yankees, but I'm not sure that if somebody offered him the right situation, he wouldn't be willing to maybe come back and play here.
Bernie Williams said yesterday that he said, I went to winter ball and realized just how bad a shape I was in. So he worked out hard. He said, I lost about 10 to 15 pounds. He said, right now I am motivated to play just in this series for Puerto Rico. If something else comes from it, and we'll see where it takes us. I'll worry about that then. Communication problems from the Panamanian dugout here. This is what Castillo, I think, was trying to get a timeout for earlier. They were going to walk Williams, but they couldn't get the timeout. Now they'll get the intentional pass. And the crowd here not real happy. Let's get down to Pedro Gomez. Pedro?
Gary was talking to Bernie before the game tonight, and while he absolutely misses baseball the way you guys were touching on, he actually just signed a 3-record deal with Reform Records out of New Jersey. And now this is a guy who's made over $100 million in his baseball career, and we see him coming out for a pinch runner here, getting another tremendous ovation, by the way. But he's made over $100 million in his baseball career. He signed a $150,000 3-record deal, and you could tell that he was beaming with pride over the fact that that had happened. He's also going to be playing April 19th at the Nokia Theater in Times Square. He's a lead guitarist. He plays jazz fusion with a strong Latin percussion, and he's absolutely an accomplished musician, which goes along with his accomplished baseball career. Guys?
Yeah, I was impressed yesterday talking to Bernie about it. He said, what I realized with the 2 years out of Major League Baseball, 1, family comes first and I don't want to be away. 2, I have other passions in life besides baseball, and number 1 in that regard is music. So that's why he's ambivalent almost about coming back to play Major League Baseball.
You know, he's such a cool guy too, and as classy a guy as you're going to meet, always willing to take time, stop, shake your hand, but to look you in the eye. You know, a lot of guys will brush by, hey, how you doing, what's going on? He always makes it a point to stop and say hello to everybody, you know, that he knows from the past around the game, and really one of the classier guys in the game, and beloved by Yankee fans.
Jesus Feliciano is the pinch runner at first base. Runners on at first and second. Strike 3 call to Felipe Lopez. He is gone. And there are 2 down.
Archimedes Nieto pitching here for Panama, 18 years old. So you know, he walked Bernie Williams. You got an 18-year-old kid out there who clearly maybe needed to get a drink of water. He's getting dry mouth, getting nervous out there. Palms are sweaty. I mean, that's a big deal for a young kid to be out there in this sort of environment.
Now with 2 down, Mike Avila stands in. 2 on, 2 down, 4-0 Puerto Rico. And the fastball will miss on the inside corner. This is part of this young team from Panama. Not a lot of experience, especially in the pitching department. So the youngsters are going to have to give it a whirl in these games. That's going to be a base hit into left field. Duran goes up. They're going to hold the runner at third as he was in. So he came up with that ball in a hurry. Aviles is on with a single, and the bases are now loaded with 2 down.
Good piece of hitting. Aviles, I'll tell you what, a guy who's persevered in his career, 7th-round draft pick, had to prove himself at every level, but last year got up at 27 years old as a rookie, 4th in the Rookie of the Year balloting in the American League. Kansas City Royals shortstop. He's going to be the starter for them this year. Hit .348 against right-handed pitchers last year. A real energy guy. Talking to the manager, Trey Hillman, he loves him. And he said, I don't know why it took him so long to get here, but he's going to be here for a while.
Now Puerto Rico with a chance to add some very big runs here in the 6th inning. They already have 1 in. The RBI by Soto. Now the bases loaded, 2 down. Ramon Vasquez swings over that one for a strike. 7 hits in the ball game for Puerto Rico. Looking to win in their first game here in the World Baseball Classic in San Juan. Behind them, the full house. 0-1 count. Soto's on at third base. Feliciano at second. Aviles on at first. Ball stopped by Ruiz. And the count will go even up at 1-1, and he'll go out. May have got crossed up by Nieto on that one.
Well, young guy on the mound and just trying to calm him down. And, for a guy like Ruiz, who's spent 8 years in the minor leagues before getting to the major leagues, he's seen this before. You see young guys who have good stuff, who just, get nervous, get uptight, get a little anxious and excited out there. Got to keep reminding them, breathe, slow yourself down. Don't rush your delivery.
How long do you think it took him to learn to spell his first name?
Archimedes.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Arquimedes. It's actually phonetically spelled, but still, that's a lot of letters. Archimedes Nieto. That is quite the name.
Not a lot of Archimedes in the major league.
No. 2-1 delivery on the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had the apple not already fallen from the tree, Archimedes Nieto would have been a fine name to have in our history books.
Yes, it would, huh?
And the count goes to 2-2.
Tell you what, he's getting, he got the strikeout on Lopez. Got some good action on the ball down in the zone.
Bases loaded with 2 away. 2-2 pitch, and he got him. So gets the out. Only 1 run in as the bases are left loaded. But Puerto Rico at the end of 6 has the 4-0 lead over Panama. And more action tonight in the World Baseball Classic. 8 o'clock MLB Network. Italy takes on Venezuela. Then tomorrow 5:30 a.m. Eastern, ESPN2. China and Korea. 2 o'clock MLB Network. South Africa, Cuba coming from Mexico City. Now the game tomorrow on ESPN2 at 5:30 a.m. is China and Korea, and one of those teams will be out. The South Korea and China both 1-1. That one to short off Javier Castillo's bat. 1 away, and let's get down to Pedro.
Boy, it's just a all-star procession here. Bernie, how did it feel to put on this uniform, play in front of these fans again?
No, it's just a great feeling. For me personally, just not being able to play, not playing for the last 2 years, just coming out here and putting this uniform on and just watching the crowd just, cheer. It was just great for me.
We were talking before the game, and you had told me that the competitive juices, that's the part that you couldn't replicate anywhere else. When you get between the lines, how much are you itching to try to do this again at the major league level?
Well, I have been training for the past 2 or 3 months, and going out to spring training with the Yankees really got me going. So, I don't know. It was just a great feeling to be out there. Now I'm feeling great. I'm in a great physical condition. I've worked really hard to get where I am right now. And, I'll have to consider, whether or not I want to do this for, a couple more years.
How much did you guys learn from that first game today where the Dominicans were shocked by the Netherlands, and maybe to come and play this game a little bit differently?
Well, I think, everybody on the team, was on the same page, as far as, respecting every team. It didn't matter who we were playing. We had to respect every team and treat them like they were the best team. And I think, we came out here, and I think Javi just threw Just, a great game. Put us in a good position to score a couple runs. Give us some cushion right now, and we're in a great position right now.
There's a guy in the other dugout, closer named Mariano Rivera. Now, you've never batted against him. How do you think you'd do if he was on the mound and you were at the plate?
I'll tell you what, though, I did face him one time in spring training. He threw me a slider, of all pitches. I hit it for a triple or something, but he's very tough. He's one of the best in the game.
All right, Bernie, hey, thank you for stopping by. Guys, back to you.
Bernie Williams. First game, the Netherlands and the Dominican Republic. Bernie had one of those low-seated beach chairs down the right field line he was sitting in on the field side of the stands watching the ball game. I don't think many people even knew he was there. Nobody else would be allowed to sit in that location.
Well, you can't tell Bernie Williams to move, can you?
No, in Puerto Rico and San Juan, are you kidding? You sit wherever you want. Foul back. Concepcion Rodriguez. Panama gets the one-out walk. Carlos Ruiz is on. Nelson Figueroa has now walked 3 since coming on in relief in the 5th inning. Bottom third of the order for Panama, trying to generate something, get back into this ball game. They have only 4 hits in the game. And that one towards the hole, backhanded. Avila's one relay to first will not be in time. They do get the force out, though.
I'll tell you, the more I watch Mike Avila's play, the more I am impressed by him. That's an outstanding play. He got ranges to his right on the backhand, quick transfer to try to get the feed and get the double play, and very accurate throw, making sure of one. Very good feet. That's what you need to be an infielder, good feet. In order to be a good thrower as an infielder, you need to have good feet. It's all about getting your feet in the right position, and he clearly has that.
And there are 2 down. Won't mention the names, but you're seeing them anyway. Something kind of new in baseball that's been silently taking place. There are patches being worn that are advertising patches for companies on the baseball uniforms by some teams here in the Classic.
Doesn't make them bad guys.
No. It's something we haven't seen in the game. It's, auto racing's at one
right.
end where the car and the driver's outfits are
that's an extreme.
Complete. Well, yeah, complete, but accepted as part of racing.
Yeah.
And baseball has never had any of that. Now we're seeing a little of that here in the World Baseball Classic.
You think how revenues in baseball have grown exponentially over the last decade or more. And at some point, that may be a direction that baseball heads.
Yeah, well, I think if it goes through the Classic and there's not a lot of uproar about it, then I think that's exactly what will happen. De Leon, the pinch hitter, grounds that one to short. Avila is there, makes the play at second base on the force out, and that will take care of that. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Puerto Rico. It is 4-0, home team on top. Fans take their stretch here at Hiram B. Thorne Stadium in San Juan. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Puerto Rico, no runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for Panama. And we will get a new pitcher. Angel Cuan, the left-hander, out of the bullpen. Nieto worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, 1 intentional pass, and 2 strikeouts.
Now, the deeper you get into the bullpen for Panama, the better chance you have to score some runs. A lot of young guys without experience in international play, let alone even in the minor leagues. A little left-hander on the mound, Cuan. Not overpowering stuff.
Job now is to just try and hold Puerto Rico down and give his team the opportunity to try and get their offense going. They've had some chances. They've just not been able to come up with a big hit. Credit that to the pitchers of Puerto Rico. Breaking ball is in there for a strike. Carlos Beltran will lead it off. Delgado and Rios will be due up. 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game for Beltran. Pitches up high to him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Asperilla has come into play at shortstop with Tejada out of there. 1-1 delivery, swung on a miss, turned that one over. Good pitch from the left-hander, down and away.
Now he got a real comfortable feel for his breaking ball, trying to roll those in there. And I really do think that that's the approach with these veteran hitters. They tend to get their timing off their fastball. We talked about that earlier, and then learn off the fastball to adjust to the breaking pitch, and not quite there yet for the breaking stuff.
Came with a fastball, and that'll be fouled off. Tried to sneak one by Beltran after the off-speed stuff, and got away with it on the foul ball strike. 1-2.
Got the broken bat, got it off the end of the bat. See Beltran out in front a little bit there, and right off the end of the bat, and shattered the tip of the bat, having to get a new one now.
Count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. Middle of the order, so dangerous time for Panama pitchers. 1-2, delivery on the way, and it's up high for a ball. There was a great story here in the Daily Sun in San Juan yesterday regarding Jose Oquendo, who is managing this team from Puerto Rico, and a man by the name of Felix Maldonado. 2-2 delivery. Maldonado, 71 years old. He played in the Caribbean World Series for Puerto Rico in the 50s and early 60s and even into the 70s. He is now a special consultant to the Boston Red Sox. He scouted there for a long time. While the team was in training at their exhibition games, this Puerto Rican team, Jose Oquendo asked Maldonado to dress and come out on the field as a coach with him. He had never done that before. It's in foul territory. It was. It's still in foul territory. And got him out of there.
We'll go back to early in the game here with Carlos Delgado. His eyes got big on a breaking ball out over the plate. Drove it out. And then in the 4th inning, Pudge Rodriguez saw a ball he liked up in his eyes. He's took that one out of the ballpark for his 2nd of 3 hits in the game tonight. So the power bats and the veteran hitters getting it done and getting the offense started for Puerto Rico.
Talking about Felix Maldonado, he came out, participated, said it was one of the great days of his life. And Jose Oquendo he thanked for the opportunity to wear the Puerto Rican uniform again. But then he was asked, now this is a 71-year-old veteran here. That one down the line by Delgado, that's going to be a base hit. He'll make the turn and go into second base with a 2-bagger. Maldonado was asked to name his all-time Puerto Rican team. Who would be on it? Now he has seen about 8 decades of baseball. He had Ivan Rodriguez catching, Orlando Cepeda at first, Robbie Alomar at second, Edgar Martinez at third, Jose Pagan at short. The outfield of Roberto Clemente, Bernie Williams, and Juan Gonzalez, with Carlos Delgado as the designated hitter.
Wow.
All Puerto Rican players.
That's what I mean. There's so many stars that have come out of all of these different countries, and I think a lot of times we forget about Puerto Rico, all the great players they've had play here.
Yeah. Big names right there. We'll get a pitching change in the bottom of the 7th inning. Puerto Rico on top 4-0 and threatening to add to it. We are back, and a couple of changes will be made now for Panama as their catcher, Carlos Ruiz. The trainer came out to take a look at him while the pitching change was going on. Oh, he may have had a stinger, a burner.
I think maybe that foul pop-up where he kind of lost his balance and reached back may have strained his neck. It looked like they're just checking to see if his neck or head are feeling all right.
Damaso Espino has come on to do the catching, and just to complicate matters more, and Espino has also come on to do the pitching. So it'll be Espino to Espino.
Paulo Espino on the mound.
Paulo Espino is going to be the 5th pitcher used by Panama in the ball game, and he's going to start with an intentional pass. Alex Rios at the plate with Delgado on at second base. Espino will surrender it, and with only one away here in the bottom of the 7th inning, give Panama a chance at the double play ground ball if they can get it. But you're doing this with Ivan Rodriguez waiting on deck.
Interesting decision by Hector Lopez, the manager. Typically you'll let the pitcher who you're going to take out of the game intentionally walk a hitter, as opposed to the new pitcher you're bringing into the game to intentionally walk a hitter, because you don't want the new pitcher to think about throwing it out of the zone. And Pudge Rodriguez coming to the plate. What kind of night it's been for him in the 2nd inning. He said, hey, fastball up, I'll pick up a base hit, and later stealing a base. In the 4th inning, he said, that same fastball up, let me show you my power. And he takes his deep out to left center field. Then in the 6th, he gets a breaking ball. Come down and in, keeps it fair down the line, picks up a double. A big night for Pudge Rodriguez, sending a message to anybody who'll listen. I still can play.
There are 8 base hits on the board for Puerto Rico, and 5 of those have been extra base hits. Puerto Rico's 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and there are 2 on here. So Rodriguez can add to what is already that very good night. Breaking ball will miss outside from Espino. Pudge Rodriguez with 1 away. Infield a double play depth.
Are you allowed to say that he only needs a triple to hit for the cycle? Is that a jinx like
No.
it is for? No, it's not, right?
No, absolutely not.
It's foreshadowing, actually, I think.
Foreshadowing, good term. Foreshadow this. Way back in right field, and goodbye, home run. His second for Pudge Rodriguez.
I was kind of hoping for a triple. But good piece of hitting, and the power numbers are there, and that's one of the questions about Pudge Rodriguez. He wasn't driving the ball anymore over the last couple of years. Does a nice job staying back, stays behind the ball, drives it where it's pitched to right center field, gets it out of the ballpark, and tell you what, good piece of hitting. The phone has to ring. He should send out his phone number over the air right now. If you want to sign it, you better get in line.
8-0 and a hard shot up the middle. Giovanni Soto's matching him for hard shot, hard shot. Soto's had a double and a single in the ball game. Rodriguez 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, a double, single, and a stolen base. The fans want Pudge to come out for another curtain call. He did it the first time. He does it again. There had only been 5 4-hit ball games in World Baseball Classic that started in '06. Ken Griffey was the last one to do that, coming into this '09 World Baseball Classic. Pudge Rodriguez has now added himself to that number with a 4-hit game. Jesus Feliciano. He hits one in the air to right field. That ball's pretty well tagged. Back at the wall, and goodbye, home run. No, in play, sorry. That came off the top and stayed in. Apologize for that, he just missed. Feliciano will get a double. He thought he had one.
Well, he got a pitch down in his wheelhouse, down and in, and he about jumped out of his shoes to see if he couldn't drive this. You see him set up away, the ball comes in, unloads on it, and he's watching it thinking, I might get this one out of here. There's a fence above the wall out there that goes just beyond it. It short hopped the wall. Concepcion Rodriguez tries to play it off the wall, comes up, kind of turns the wrong way, but no real play at second base.
Boy, they are, this Puerto Rican lineup now blasting away. Paulo Espino being hit hard. 8 runs on 11 hits. Taken down low, Felipe Lopez. Puerto Rico took a while to get it started, but once they got it started, look out, 4 runs here in this inning. And the scoreboard's got 8 up there, but it's really 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is now it's 9 on the board. Boy, Puerto Rico's really scoring.
Well, they get one more. It's the, mercy rule.
Mercy rule.
Well, maybe no one's going to pay attention to it. Well, it is the
7.
point we do have. It is 7, but there is one of the rules that in the World Baseball Classic, a run rule that after 7 innings, a 10-run differential. And they call the game.
And the game shall immediately end if the home team reaches that number while at bat. So if they get to 10 runs here in this inning, as soon as they reach 10, the ball game would be over because they are the home team. And we are in the 7th inning. So the bases are loaded again. And Vila, the leadoff batter, who has single, reached on an error, popped out and flied out, will get an opportunity with the bases loaded. Another intentional pass surrendered to Felipe Lopez, trying to set up another ground ball for a double play. That didn't work with Pudge Rodriguez, who followed up the intentional pass with a 3-run homer. That's going to be taken up high for a ball, 1-1.
Well, you have to credit Hector Lopez, manager for the Panamanian team. I mean, he's managing this one. I mean, he's running every pitcher out there, trying to find some solution, intentionally walking, trying to set up double plays, trying to find outs in different areas. So he's trying.
That will miss inside. 2-1 count. Puerto Rico tonight, it's been an extra hit ball game. 3 home runs and 4 doubles. So 7 of their 11 hits have been extra base hits. Aviles waiting on the 2-1 delivery and fouled it back.
You know, we talk about baseball in the Caribbean, talk about winter ball, and you know, the initial thought is always the Dominican Republic, then Venezuela. And really, Puerto Rico's an afterthought. Remember, Puerto Rican Winter League, back in 2007 into 2008, they didn't have a Winter League that year. They were able to put it back together again. But Puerto Rico's sometimes an afterthought when you talk about Caribbean baseball. But this team could be a sleeper in this tournament.
Down to third base, chance for 2. There's 1. Relay Chavez over to first. And they're able to get the double play off of Aviles' bat. But it is a big 3-run 7th inning. And the 3 RBIs picked up by Pudge Rodriguez, his 2nd home run of this ball game. 7-0 Puerto Rico. A lot of baseball coming up as 3 more World Baseball Classic games on ESPN tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. ESPN2. China will take on South Korea. That is going to be an elimination game. At 4:30 on ESPN, we will be back here in San Juan. The Dominican Republic that lost their game today will take on the loser of this game. That will be an elimination game. And at 8 Eastern on ESPN from Toronto, the USA that won today will take on the winner of the Italy-Venezuela game that is going to be played tonight in Toronto.
Johnny Cueto going to get the start for the Dominican Republic here tomorrow. So they're going to try to get up on the board, get back into this tournament. They certainly don't want to be eliminated.
Rivera has come on to do the pitching. Top of the order, Luis Durango is up at the plate. This will be the 3rd pitcher used in the ball game by Puerto Rico. And he comes in with a fastball for a strike. Rabel, nicknamed Saul Rivera. Panama hung tough, but Puerto Rico, Ivan Rodriguez, the story of this ball game. Talk about teams taking a look at him. Not much question. Somebody's going to be interested in this kind of a ball game. How much did he make tonight contract-wise? Foul back into the screen, and the count goes to 1-2.
You know, I will tell you that you know, he's a superstar player. He's a Hall of Famer. I think a first ballot Hall of Famer. But talking to him yesterday before the workout, he's humbled. I mean, he's humbled by the fact he doesn't have a job right now. And I think that people would get a different Pudge Rodriguez than you've seen in the past. A guy who's, you know, who's been kind of cocky and aloof and standoffish at times. I didn't get that sense at all. I got the sense that he's hungry and desperate to play, and that tends to be a guy that's worth signing.
Andy Gonzalez has come in at first base now. That is a strike 3 call. Durango is gone, 1 away here in the 8th inning. So Rivera starts it out with a K. What's going on here in San Juan? Well, the big story is what went on earlier today.
Well, obviously a major upset. Netherlands pulling off the upset 3-2 victory over the Dominican Republic. They had 3 hits in the game. If you put the yardage of each of the hits together, it would not even reach an outfielder. 3 infield hits, but a couple of mistakes in the first inning led to 3 runs. It's just a major upset for the Netherlands. Shocking. I mean, it's Appalachian State over Michigan, sort of an upset. You take a look at how big an upset is. Look at that, current major league players. Dominican Republic, 23 current major leaguers to 2 for the Netherlands. Career wins 95. Ponson had 90 of them. And the major league payroll, $83.5 million for the Dominican Republic, 0 for the Netherlands. Not a single major league player on the roster making money right now. Sidney Ponson's not signed with anybody. I mean, it is David crushing Goliath.
And they did. Ground ball toward short. off the bat of Angel Chavez. Chavez will be retired. Aviles with the play. And there are 2 down here in the 8th inning. Chavez a 1-for-4 ball game. And if the score stays in the favor of Puerto Rico, then it's going to be the Dominican and Panama in the ball game tomorrow that will be an elimination game for one of those teams.
And it's going to be a hungry Dominican team. And you know, there's a saying in baseball that the best thing and worst thing about it is you play every day. The worst thing is you play every day and you can get run down a little bit. But the best thing is you get to play the next day, and if something goes wrong today, you've got a chance for redemption tomorrow. That is the story. Baseball is a game of redemption. It's a game where if you're out, you can come back in if you can perform and play. And look for the Dominican team to be very aggressive tomorrow afternoon.
Ruben Rivera goes to shot. Aviles up, and that will do it. So Saul Rivera comes on, and as a 1-2-3 inning, we go to the bottom of the 8th. Puerto Rico leading Panama 7-0. The World Baseball Classic will continue tonight at 8 o'clock on MLB Network. It'll be Italy taking on Venezuela. Then tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, China and South Korea, with one of those teams to be eliminated in that game. Then 2 o'clock on MLB Network, South Africa will take on Cuba. They will play in Mexico City in the first game to be played in that bracket. They are the last of the 4 cities to see action in the 09 World Baseball Classic. Bottom half of the 8th inning, 7-0.
I'm getting up at 5:30 to watch that. Boog Sciambi and Orestes Estrada calling the games from Japan.
Give me a call about 10. Let me know how it went.
Okay, I will.
Ramon Vasquez will take that on the inside corner for a strike. The only batter not to hit in the 7th inning for Puerto Rico. He's 0 for 3. Does have an RBI and a sac fly. One delivery. That's going to be fouled off. Paulo Espino doing the pitching. Vasquez for Puerto Rico started. No runs, 4 hits, 4 1/3. Figueroa came on in middle relief, and Saul Rivera. All have been effective in holding down Panama to just the 4 hits and no runs. 1-2 floated outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, for Vasquez, hasn't had a great day at the plate. But every at bat, you're getting that much closer to getting locked in and getting set. So, you know, despite the fact the game's getting a little bit out of hand, a chance for him to try to find a stroke.
2-2 delivery on the way, grounded towards short. Esparilla up, makes the play over to first base to get the out. Vasquez remains as the only starter for Puerto Rico not to get on base in the ball game. We mentioned the games in Mexico City. Cuba will play South Africa to open that section tomorrow, and then Australia and Mexico in the second game to be played in Mexico City.
Like, you look at that bracket, you have to think Cuba and Mexico the favorites to come out of that. Baseball kind of still young in its infancy in South Africa. I always thought Australia and baseball was going to start to boom. You know, they've got big, strong athletes there, but they just can't. It just can't take hold yet down in Australia. You know, there's still some, you know, a trickle of talent coming into the United States, but you know, the professional league folded down there, and I always thought that that generation of players would become the next generation of coaches and instructors to take the game to the next level. That's really what you need, are generations of baseball players, but they just have not gotten over the hump down in Australia yet.
Carlos Beltran, he is 0 for 3 with a walk in the ball game. 2 teams come out of each of the 4 cities. The 4 pools move into the semifinal round. Their second round, which one will be in Miami, the other in San Diego. And chopped down to third base. Castillo is deep, bare hands it, not going to get him an infield hit. Beltran hit against the defense right there, and as a result, got an infield single.
Well, because of his power, you have to play him deep because he can really stroke the ball and drive it. So you play back, but then when he hits one off the end of the bat, he has the kind of speed to beat out an infield hit.
That'll be hit number 12 for Puerto Rico in the ball game. And Andy Gonzalez will get his first at bat. He came on to play at first base for Delgado. One down, one on. And a fastball on the outside corner. A 3-run 7th inning for Puerto Rico, extending that lead to the 7-0 they've got right now and put themselves in real good shape. Get a victory here in this first game that they've played in the Classic this year. That'll miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of Mets fans at the ballpark here. The Mets, one of the more diverse teams in the major leagues, and the most players participating in the World Baseball Classic. Most 40-man roster players participating in the World Baseball Classic.
Breaking ball strike on the outside corner to him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Obviously, Carlos Beltran, Carlos Delgado, the centerpieces of the Puerto Rican team, batting 3 and 4 in the Mets lineup.
Atlanta Braves, number of players affiliated with their ball club on this Panama team, 5 of them on the roster. In fact, they're calling it the Panama Express to Atlanta, as they've done some heavy scouting in Panama. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Andy Gonzalez with the Florida Marlins, AAA ball, at 242 last year. Utility player, plays all positions in the infield. Shortstop primarily. He's playing at first base right now, and he's moved around in his career to all those positions already.
The reason Atlanta Braves have so many players in the Panama team is that Luis Ortiz, one of their coaches, is the Gulf Coast League coach for the Braves, so he goes back home and scouts talent, and the organization entrusts dollars to him to sign players to bring them into the organization, because most teams don't have a scout just in Panama. They'll have a Caribbean scout, or a scout that's based out of either Venezuela or Puerto Rico, or maybe one in each of those places that branch out to the other islands.
That breaking ball hit in the air to shallow center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Andy Gonzalez will pick up a single. Beltran will stop at second base. 2 on and 1 away here in the 8th inning. Hit number 13 for Puerto Rico. Firing away the offensive day here in San Juan, opening up pool play for these 4 teams. Alex Rios, 2 on and 1 down. He drew an intentional pass ahead of Pudge Rodriguez and came on to score in the Rodriguez home run in the 7th inning. And will take the strike from Espino.
Rios 47 doubles last year, career high for him. 15 home runs, and he still has that projectable body. 27, 28 years old, and I think he's going to get bigger, and those doubles are going to turn into home runs. He is some kind of interesting player.
Outside to him, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pudge Rodriguez is waiting on deck to try and have a 5-hit ball game. On at second base, Beltran. Gonzalez at first, back-to-back singles. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Look out. High and tight to him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Espino's being asked to extend himself here. If Panama was in the ball game and even remotely close, Espino probably would be out of the ball game.
Right. I think right now he's going to take the pitches and take the day off tomorrow and try to protect some of the other arms in the bullpen, where they hope they'll be a little bit closer and have a chance to win.
2-1 delivery. Big cut fouled away. 2-2.
It's going to be interesting for the Toronto Blue Jays this year. Alex Rios, a member of them, but now that the Yankees made all their moves with Sabathia and Burnett and Teixeira, and the Red Sox certainly are a very good team and added some pitching depth, and Tampa Bay with what they did last year, and then adding Pat Burrell and David Price breaking into the rotation this year. Blue Jays have their work cut out for them.
Rios takes that to center field off the end of the bat. Rivera. Runners tagging, and will go to third base. Beltran. Staying at first is Gonzalez, and there are 2 down. First and third now with 2 away, and Rodriguez coming up. As he mentioned, after he got that home run, he's had 2 of them in this ball game. A 4-hit game, double, single, and 2 homers. No one has had a 5-hit game in this, the second World Baseball Classic. Pudge Rodriguez is going to have to wait, as Panama is going to go to the bullpen. And Espino, who took one for the club here, throwing a lot of pitches, will be coming out of there, and Pudge Rodriguez will have to wait on it. But he's going to have a shot at setting a number in this Young Baseball Classic history, either in the hit department or in the home runs in a ball game. 7-0 lead, bottom half of the 8th inning. Puerto Rico on top. Pudge Rodriguez will stand in when we come back. Here in San Juan, the home crowd making a lot of noise as Pudge Rodriguez stands in. 7-0 lead for Puerto Rico. Pudge has already picked up 2 home runs in the ball game, 4 hits. Nobody's had 5 in a World Baseball Classic. We got a chance at all kinds of offensive numbers here. Most home runs hit in a ball game is 2. It's been done 4 times. Ken Griffey Jr. was the last to do it before Pudge has done it here tonight. Runners at first and third, 2 down, and a 1-0 count on Rodriguez.
Well, he's already made a statement with an exclamation point, but I don't think anything from this point's icing on the cake for him.
4 RBI ball game. Griffey had a 7 RBI game. Pitch is taken down low, 2-0. Rafael Medina coming out of the bullpen. The pitchers have had a night of it here against this very tough lineup.
They really have great depth to this Puerto Rico lineup and so many tough at bats. They work the count, the ability to drive the ball in the gaps.
Medina's pitch is going to be taken up high. Veteran right-hander of international play for Panama. Medina trying to keep the score where it's at, 7-0, and Pudge Rodriguez, if he hits a home run, this game's over. That would be a 10-0 mercy rule score.
Be a great story too, wouldn't it? You know, 3rd home run and 7 RBIs.
Three ball, 1 strike count. Rodriguez went around on it, could not hold up, and the count goes to 3-2. Beltran on at third base. Andy Gonzalez on at first. 7-run, 13-hit attack in this game for Puerto Rico. And that is up high, and he walked it. So on all 5 times, all plate appearances tonight have resulted in an on-base situation for Rodriguez. That loads him up.
Good at bats, and obviously the fans would have liked to see something different. You know, just Felipe Alou, the Dominican manager, was talking yesterday, not making any excuses or putting disclaimers in anything, but noticing that, you know, they had to get up at 7 o'clock this morning for their game that started at noon. Took batting practice at 9, and you know, Puerto Rico got to come in leisurely in the afternoon, playing a night game in front of the hometown fans. There is an advantage for Puerto Rico. I don't think there's any question about it playing here.
And they, like the Dominican team, are a loaded ball club. Giovanni Soto, he's had a night as well, overshadowed by the other catcher, Rodriguez. Soto's DHing in the ball game. He has walked, struck out, doubled, and singled as an RBI. And Soto will take the off-speed pitch up high. Bases are loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike count, 2 down. Panama hopes to have 3 outs to work with in the top of the 9th inning, but they've got to keep the score under 10 in order for that to happen here in the 8th inning. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Giovanni Soto.
By the way, Giovanni Soto sets up in his stance. You just see him starting to uncoil that swing. You can see how he generates that power. where he keeps the weight back when that front foot hits. He hits against that front leg, driving the hips through and the bat to follow.
1-2 delivery inside to him. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Paulo Espino went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, a couple of intentional passes. So far, 3 runs will be charged to him. And relieved by Medina. 2-2 delivery. Right field, in the yard. Rodriguez. Boy, look at the wind take that back all the way to the warning track in the wall, but Giovanni Soto is retired. Puerto Rico leaves the bases loaded, but they are 3 outs away from picking up the win here in the World Baseball Classic, up 7-0. Well, scoreboard tells the story in this one as Puerto Rico got it going and didn't stop. They've got the 7-0 lead. Panama had a couple of scoring opportunities earlier in the ball game, unable to convert, and that opened the door for Puerto Rico to be able to build that lead, and they have done just that. We go to the top half of the 9th inning now, and Carlos Gutierrez will come on to do the pitching.
Well, a youngster getting the 9th inning worth of work right here. You know, by comparison, Panama had their young pitchers coming in the 5th inning of the game, so much more depth on the Puerto Rico side. Minnesota Twins prospect pitched in the Florida State League last year. Very good arm. Played at the University of Miami. Ended up with Tommy John surgery, missed some time, but selected by the Minnesota Twins early in the draft and getting a chance to show what he has.
Carlos Lee has had a tough ball game, DHing for Panama. 0 for 3. He had an opportunity in the 6th inning with a couple on, grounded out. 1st inning he came up with a runner at 3rd base, 2 down, and popped out. And will pop this one up towards 1st base. Handled by Gonzalez for the out. Lee retired, 1 down in the 9th inning. The way the World Baseball Classic is run this season with a double elimination, the losers of the first 2 games played in each of the cities faces one another in the 2nd game, which ends up being an elimination game. And right now that looks like tomorrow it's going to be this Panama team taking on the Dominican Republic, and the loser of that game will be out.
You know, it's interesting too, in the United States bracket in Canada, the winners play tomorrow and the losers get the day off. That seems odd to me. I would think that the winning team should get the advantage of having the additional day.
Zuleta will take it for his strike. He is 0 for 3 in the game. Four hits on the board for Panama, and they have been just scattered around, and they have been singles. And you just can't score many runs when all you get are the single base hits.
Now, if they're really gonna compete, they have to get out in front, and either out-slug somebody or out-pitch somebody, and they don't have the horses in the bullpen to out-pitch, so they're gonna need to score some runs, get more hits than just 4.
Breaking ball taken outside, 1-2. Overlooked in this ball game, Carlos Delgado, who delivered the first run of the ball game with a home run in the 2nd inning. He also had a single and a double and scored a couple of runs in this ball game, so he had a good ball game, 3 for 4. But Rodriguez, with the 2 home runs in a 4 for 4 game, has just dominated the story.
He stole the show, no question about it. And by the way, he's caught a shutout so far. So I mean, that's the other part of the story. If you're looking for what can he offer you, well, you know what, he's nursed pitchers that he doesn't have a lot of experience with through a shutout game here in the World Baseball Classic, and delivered offensively as well.
Right by the kneecaps on that one, and a 3-ball 2-strike count on Zuleta. Oh, Panama continues their struggles in the World Baseball Classic competition. Right off the fists, one hopper to short. Avelos makes the play. Zuleta's retired, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning. So a chance for this one to be over right here in front of this big crowd in San Juan. Gutierrez getting a chance to wrap it up as He's got the first 2 outs. And Javier Castillo 1 for 3. And some fine plays made in the field by Castillo in this ball game at third base.
He's an interesting young kid. Swings a little bit long, though. He's got to try to shorten that swing up a little bit, but some athletic ability out there.
2 strike count on Castillo, and the fans are up. Two delivered outside to Castillo. Bruce Chen made a good start for Panama. A couple of runs, 4 hits over 4. But once they got into the bullpen, not much strength there, and Puerto Rico took advantage of it. Swung on in a chopper. Could be the ball game. Throw to first, not in time. Not yet. Second hit of the game for Castillo.
A good hustle down the line by Javier Castillo, playing until the last out. See Gutierrez pop off the mound right here and field the ball, but good hustle down. Able to beat out an infield hit.
And that will be hit number 5. And again, as we said, another single. Now the catcher will get his first at bat. Damaso Espino. Carlos Ruiz, the starting catcher for Panama, went out late in the game. What looked like a bit of a stiff neck.
I'll guarantee you this, that Ruben Amaro Jr., their general manager, and Charlie Manuel have been on the phone already with the trainers trying to make sure it's nothing too serious.
Runner on at first, 2 away, and a strike taken by Espino. With 2 outs.
Well, this kid's got good stuff. Carlos Gutierrez, Minnesota Twins, one of their better prospects, early round draft pick. Good action on that fastball, hard boring action down in the zone.
Trying to finish it off, and just missed with that. Down and away, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Puerto Rican team coming in doing what they wanted to get done here in this game. 7 runs on 13 hits. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, swung on and missed, and that's it. Puerto Rico comes away with a 7-0 win over Panama to go into the winner's bracket.
Well, they learned the lesson from what happened at Dominican this afternoon and made a real statement coming out swinging the bats, getting good quality pitching.
So you take a look at where we are with the first day done here in San Juan. The upset by the Netherlands will give them an opportunity to take on Puerto Rico in the next game, while the 2 losers are going to play tomorrow. And that will be somebody out. Will it be the Dominican Republic or will it be Panama?
I look for Dominican to come out firing tomorrow, trying to stay alive in the tournament, hoping to get themselves advanced to round 2.
Pudge Rodriguez, the story, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a 4-hit ball game. For Pedro Gomez, Steve Phillips, I'm Gary Thorne. For all of our crew, thanks for joining us in San Juan.